what up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
Coach JB.
Yeah. Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
Proven with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
You gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so past it, don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy can be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
With the gas, Smitty and Jason Brown.
To the Coach JB show.
What up? We are in the building. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday, so talk, I will talk back. We got a loaded lineup. You got me all morning long until Steve Kim jumps on in about an hour and a half. Plus, we'll end the show for a full hour on an NFL, AFC West, AFC South, full breakdown of every team and every quarterback, and we will rank them per roster, per quarterback for a whole hour with Shaun King, NFL quarterback extraordinaire. He'll be joining us at the 8 o'clock hour. We'll be doing a full breakdown on the NFL each day this week. So stay tuned for that. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member. Head on over to the CoachJBStore.com. CoachJBStore.com. I got the new merch out. All the ladies in the house, make sure you head on over there as well. We got the nice little fly ladies gear in, a little short, whatever you guys call these little shimmos. We used to wear these under our pads, but these are for the women now, so you can let your hang, So head on over to CoachJBStore.com and get you some new merch. Today, we got a bunch of new merch. Bucket hats, Coach JB polos. We got the Coach JB show, mugs, polos, shirts, and hoodies. All new gear is on CoachJBStore.com. Head on over there today and get you some new merch. Plus, my best-selling book, Hate Me Now, Love Me Later, is on there. Personalized, signed by me, myself. I ship them out myself. And you can get a Last Chance U poster signed as well. Authentic one, 11 by 17 for your man cave or room. Pound that like. Head on over to winnable.com/slappicks and use the promo code Coach JB and get you your picks. Tonight, we'll have some we'll start betting on our NBA playoff picks for the West and the East finals. So don't miss that. Bet with the cappers and the winners on the realest show on Planet ERF right here every single day, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific. We got a loaded lineup today. We're going to break down a lot of things. And all of that is brought to you by Bet Online. But before we get started, let's dive into the realest show on Planet ERF. Amber Rose says she is voting Donald Trump and said black folks need to do their research on the Democratic Party and what Biden has actually done for them. Then immediately she takes social media backlash from her own black counterparts, such as Jaylen Rose, Luke Skywalker, all these left woke fucks, and it blows my mind. I don't get that everything has to be about color, even when discussing our own color. Let me be perfectly clear. I was hanging out with some my boys last night. Let me say, how should I put this? Has a past, not the greatest of humans back in their day. OGs, triple OGs. And I'm going to be honest with you. This all broke last night, and we saw it on social media while we were chilling. And they were pissed off at what Jaylen Rose had to say. First point they brought up to me is it's easy for this motherfucker to say the shit he just said after what Amber Rose said when you have no income issues, when you have no financial issues and are generationally wealthy and you can afford gas, food, insurance, healthcare, and rent. Jaylen Rose isn't looking too good in the hood this morning. Let me keep it real. Contrary to all your beliefs, he is blinded by ignorance, and for him to be this blinded or shut off about what is really happening in America is really quite telling. Would you talk shit to Lawrence Taylor or Mike Tyson, Jaylen Rose? Because they also said they're voting Trump. Let's keep it a buck, dog. You sound ignorant today, and you sound like a follower. And we don't need any more followers, dog. We got enough followers out there in mainstream media pushing false narratives. How about you become a leader and start fucking getting somebody to follow you? But you follow everybody else's fucking coattail. It blows my mind, man, where we are in America. We're a bunch of fucking followers, and you wonder why we're falling behind the 8 ball. Let's get into the show. Devontae Parker retired at 31 years old. Here's my point back to yesterday when we got a guy getting drafted, and now he retires to be a TikToker. Devontae Parker, 31 years old, just signed a deal with the Eagles. Just signed with the Eagles weeks ago. We're going to dive into that. Bronny James, once again mentioned as a non-NBA talent by several scouts yesterday. Tom Brady humbles some NFL rookies and breaks down the ability to practice like a champion every day and says, stay the fuck off social media. Scottie Scheffler arraignment moved to June 3rd. I figure this whole thing will be dropped. Louisville can't afford a bad PR, another bad PR stunt. And this is why I think they're pushing it to June 3rd. And I believe then it'll be dropped. But what do I know? Wemby Holmgren showcased the all-rookie team in the NBA. Justin Jefferson not at OTAs with the Vikings. Instead, his phone pinged 3 miles outside of New York Jets practice camp. Something or nothing. We're going to dive into that. Oilers Canucks game 7 last night. Canucks go down in a tight one in the NFL schedule breakdown. We're going to talk about the AFC West, AFC South, full team and QB breakdown with rankings with Shaun King. And, of course, Steve Kim joins me to talk all things Tyson Fury. Don't miss that. But before we begin, I just want to give you a heads up. Smitty will be back tomorrow from Viva Mexico. He is there right now and enjoying his wife and his sunshine and everything else. So shout out to Smitty. Enjoy, because we're about to get into the studio very soon. Anyway, I'll be going to the studio today to put in our soundproof walls and all that stuff. So if you guys want to contribute, and we do need contributors, especially the top 5, get to come barbecue and play poker with us and everyone involved with the show. You'll get to hang out with everybody. So top 5 contributors on our GoFundMe. We are looking to get some more help for cameras and mics as we move closer and closer to moving into the studio. So head on over to the GoFundMe stage right now and find it right there and help. Top 5 contributors plus anything helps. So pound that like, subscribe, and head on over to our GoFundMe and help us get into that studio sooner than later. We're trying to move in the first week of June, to be honest with you. We're 9, 10, 11 days away, I think. So stay tuned for that. We're getting close. I'm tired as hell. Trust me, it's been a grind. But I'm here every day with you. And today you got me alone, solo dolo. So we're going to dive into the realest show on planet Earth. But before we begin, the quote of the day is brought to you by betonline.ag. Head on over. What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. Let's get it cracking. Quote of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. Honesty is an expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Let me say it again for everybody in the back. Honesty is an expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. That's why I keep it funky. That is why I keep it real. Honesty is a real thing. And listen, real people will give you real thoughts. Cheap people won't. And I'm just telling you straight out. That's the truth. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Use the promo code Coach JB. You can get you can win times 10 on your betting needs. Prize Picks. Contrary to belief, too many people are living for compliments and not accomplishments. Contrary to belief. Too many of you cats out there want a compliment and pat on the back, dog, instead of go out and earn some accomplishments. Contrary to belief, that's just some real talk banter. I want to dive into the poll question. We'll start the show with that. Poll question brought to you by Winnable. Are the Celtics under pressure to win it all this year? Any more pressure than normal? Listen, Draymond Green came on his show yesterday and said that the Knicks injuries are no excuse. I could swear I heard Draymond Green use injuries as an excuse when they lost one year. But that could just be me. But now that these guys go to the media now, while they're still playing, it's ironic. Now they want to throw shade. But listen, it is what it is. The Knicks should have won with all those injuries, says Draymond. But the Celtics aren't under due pressure to win it all this year after they've been to the last 4 of the last 6 Eastern Conference Finals. Make it make sense, man. I'm trying to fucking figure out how that doesn't make sense. I think the Celtics are under immense pressure, and I believe the coach could even be under immense pressure. So I'm just throwing that out there. I think that's real. I think that could be real. I think it could happen that way. And I think that the Celtics may be in some trouble. They better fucking win this year. But I don't see them beating Timberwolves, not without Porzingis. And even with Porzingis, I don't know if they could beat the Timberwolves. I'm going to be real with you. Hey, Josh, sorry, dog. Your Celtics, I don't know if they can beat the T-Wolves, dog. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if they can. Porzingis is not a guy that's going to who's he guarding, first of all? Is he guarding Towns or Gobert? Neither. And so I think you got big problems in Boston, dog, if you got to play Minnesota. And I think you are playing Minnesota. I'm going to bet my money today. Bailey, we got to bet some money today that I'm taking the T-Wolves to win it all. What are the odds on that? What are the odds on that shit? I gotta take the T-Wolves to win it all. I think I'm gonna do that. That's the bet, though. That's got to be the bet. They probably are the least favorited team left, other than the Pacers. I think I'm gonna do that. You know what's ironic about the Jaylen Rose statement? See, I'm solo dolo today, so it's Real Talk Tuesday. It's Talk That Talk. Let me be honest. Jaylen Rose will come out and defend some fucking horrific fucking idiots on camera, on TV, on media, social media, etc. Will he defend this shit? I bet you Jaylen Rose will defend this bitch, but he'll fight Amber Rose for saying that he's going to vote for Trump instead of Biden because she said Biden has done shit for black community. But that motherfucker will defend This State Marshmallow Man, Puff Man ass motherfucker right here. And you know what was funny about this song right here I was watching? The dog smells straight badussy. You see that? God damn. Look at that shit right there. You know the dog smells straight badussy, dog. That shit probably smells so goddamn bad. I got to be honest. What the fuck is the quad, hip, and thigh roll? That motherfucker goes. Listen, the puppy I feel for, I want to snatch that dog up, and then I want to detox the dog right out the gate. But Leah, let's keep it real. The whole song was about pussy. Bitch, you ain't seen your pussy in 5 to 10. Come on, man. You talking about what your pussy do, how good your pussy is. What? Bitch, first of all, it would take a PVC pipe to find that motherfucker after we lift all that shit up. Number one. Number two, you know damn well you can't wipe your ass. You cannot wipe your ass. You definitely can't wipe that vajayjay. You ain't seen it in 5 to 10. So the irony, dog, the irony. But Jaylen Rose will defend that fucking shit. He'll defend WAP videos, wet ass pussy. He'll defend that shit. But when it comes to motherfucking country, motherfuckers really gotta really sit back and think. Like, damn, that shit is crazy. G Wizzle. That's all you probably fuck with is bitches like that, dog. That's all you can get, homie. But you got a little wee-wee. When you got a little wee-wee, dog, you gotta take what you can get, Jay Wizzy. So shout out to you being in the chat, trolling like normal, like most bitch-made cats do. But let's dive into this. We got a loaded lineup today and a loaded show, and I want to dive into this Devontae Parker retiring at 31 years old. I'm tired of hearing the commitment letters from the college kids that head on over to a college and commit, and then 2 days later saying, I'm decommitting. By the way, there's no such word as decommit. We already know that. Now you got these letters saying that I just not in it no more. I'm going to retire. He said he looks forward to his time with the Eagles just 2 weeks ago, and then now he said he's decided to spend more time with his family. Includes his 4 children. Shout out to you for your 4 children. Hopefully they're not from 4 baby mamas like Tyreek Hill. But listen, he said he wants to see his kids, spend quality time with them. He's 31, dog. He must have made a lot of money or must have a great plan ahead, because I'm just telling you, 31-year-olds, dog, usually he's been robbing the Dolphins for a while now. He's been robbing the Dolphins for a while. These cats get money, man. I would be scared as a whore in church to be a GM or a head coach in this NFL current landscape right now. You're paying these dudes at an all-time cliff, and then they're just quitting on motherfuckers left and right. They're not giving you their all. They're load managing. They're not playing when they should be playing. They demand a trade because they're not happy. Like, when is enough enough? Dog. Devontae Parker robbed everybody. I'm sure he got paid by the Eagles too, by the way. Signing bonus, something. Did he give that money back? Did he give that money back? I'm curious. See, if you're such a good, upstanding dude, then give your money back. Give your signing bonus back, dog, if you're set for life. Just telling you. So, we got a lot of fucked up shit. We got a TikToker who was drafted who said, I'm just going to stop playing in TikTok. What? You're going to be a TikToker? You just got drafted, homie. You're going to be a TikToker now? Another scout comes out in the NBA and says Bronny James is not ready for the NBA. Listen, let's be real. This guy's 6'1", but coach, he has a 7-foot wingspan, but he can't guard any bigger defender. He can't defend any bigger offensive player. 6'1.5" is still 6'1.5". He's got a 40-inch vert, coach. Okay, who can he guard other than a point guard? And apparently, he's been getting taken to the rack by anyone 6'4" and above. Of course he is. And his 41-inch vert is basically negated. Listen, this isn't a fucking puzzle. He would have balled at USC if he was the guy. SC was not a good team this year. SC does not have a lot of NBA talent this year. This guy should have excelled at USC as the guy. Instead, he was the other guy. So, come on, man. I'm tired of ESPN pushing this motherfucker's narrative that he's a guy that we need to be talking about in the draft. I said it last week. What happened to the guys that are deserving of being drafted? The actual lottery pick guys. Why isn't ESPN talking about him? Them. Why are we not talking about the guys that should be talked about? Dog, we know whose son it is. Homie, we know whose son it is. That doesn't make him good. You know how many great players' sons are trash? It doesn't make it okay that other guys' sons get passed by. There's guys out there worthy of being drafted. And this guy gets all the limelight on ESPN. Keith Smith, shut up. Stop making excuses, motherfucker. You're the guy that don't get out of bed every day and don't make your bed, and you still got excuses about everybody else's issues except your own. When are you going to face the music, Keith? When are you going to say, you know what, I got to look in the mirror, dog, and my titties hang to my motherfucking kneecaps. I need to do something about it. When are you going to stop blaming and pointing the finger, motherfucker? God damn. This shit blows my mind. Keith got a lot to learn. Tom Brady humbles NFL rookies with a speech about how he treated preseason games, and I don't think this mentality exists anymore. Take a listen.
When you have 53 guys on the team and you think it's about you, it ain't about you. It's about us. And the biggest problem I see with a lot of the young players today, you guys are making it too much about I and me because of social media, because of branding and all that. It's fine. You're not going to win. There was a difference between being a star and being a champion.
Your talent gets you there. You know, your work ethic and your discipline takes you to where you want to be.
Every day of practice is important. You know why? Because when I was on the Patriots and we had 20 years winning, every day was a big day. I treated a preseason game, I treated a regular season like it was a Super Bowl. So when I got to the Super Bowl, it was just another day for me.
You got to know who you are because those moments going to come. You're going to be down 28-0. You got to say, all right, I know who I am. I'm going to go get it.
I'm unrelenting. Like, I will not quit in anything I do. And I never got there on, educational background. I never got there on skill. It was work ethic and hustle.
There should be nobody in your life that should have higher expectations for you than you.
You're going to evolve or you're not. You're going to keep evolving or you're not. And if you're not, the world still spins. If you're forever curious, you'll always keep getting better.
Listen, I see the comments. I don't know if Jay-Z's words are irrelevant. He's a billionaire. You guys couldn't hear that? Maybe the people on Twitter can't hear it. I don't know. Leah said she couldn't hear it. Listen, unless you think Jay-Z's bigger problem than Puff Daddy and his name's out there right now as being some dude that's in this whole P. Diddy issue, along with Michael Rubin and all these other weirdos, but they're billionaires. So billionaires, let's be real, they're probably relevant unless you think they were placed there and the puppet masters put the puppets in an ability to make these billions of dollars. I think they're billionaires. They're probably relevant. That's why Brady has them there. They're all fanatics underneath Michael Rubin or whatever his name is. Listen, I've been around Michael Rubin several times. That motherfucker's a weirdo too. I wouldn't trust that motherfucker with nobody I know. But that's just me. But it looks like all these weirdo motherfuckers are out there. I just hope Tom Brady ain't in one of them. The motherfucker did kiss his kids on his lips. Shit. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I've talked to a lot of people about that whole video we showed about Tom Brady kissing his kids on the lips and then bringing them back, kissing them on the lips again. Nah, it doesn't set well. It doesn't set well, dog. I've never kissed my kids on the lips like that. My daughter, I definitely couldn't see me kissing my son on the fucking lips like that. And you can all say what you want. That shit is weird. I'm going to keep it funky. That shit weird as fuck. Not on the lips. Not on the lips, Ren. You kiss your kids on the fucking lips? I mean, that motherfucker was this far away from sticking tongue in, motherfucker. You kissed your son on the lips like this? And motherfucker kisses his lip and then bring him back and do it again? Some weird ass shit, homie. If you don't think that's weird, you a weird motherfucker yourself. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm just saying, yeah, it's some weird shit. Hey, listen to this. I want to show you something real quick. Let's get Biden to quit. That should be the new logo around this motherfucker. Let's just be real. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird shit. Hey, each his own, Jimmy Ridley. That's weird shit. How old's your daughter? If you don't mind me asking. See, it's none of my business, homie, because you're either a good, thoughtful parent and you don't think there's nothing wrong with it, which each his own, or if you're a weirdo fuck out there. Not saying Jamel is. I'm just saying if you're a weirdo fuck, you gotta live with that too. So I don't really give a fuck. I'm just telling you, it's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. 2-year-old, a little different, Jamel, I guess. Two-year-old, I guess, a little peck, but I don't understand why. I don't get it, Jamel. I don't know. I raised my daughter from 18 months till she was 4 by myself, all through college and especially when I went and played pro. I don't remember ever kissing her on the lips. I guess under 3 is okay, but I still don't see why though. I don't understand the process. Maybe you're different. Maybe you could help me understand why. I don't understand why. I don't get why you need to do it. I guess that's my question. I don't know. That's just me. I don't see any proof. I don't see any reasoning. I don't see it. I don't see any reasoning, to be honest with you. So I don't know. That's just me. If they 9 or 10, that's weird. Yeah, I think it's weird for any motherfucker to kiss their kid on the lips at any time. I don't know. That's just me though. Each his own. Each his motherfucking own. Let's dive into this. Justin Jefferson not at OTAs with the Vikings. Let the rumors fly. Let the rumors fly. There's Justin Jefferson. His phone was pinged. They slid it on social media. It is what it is. What does it mean? That was 3 miles away from Jets camp facility. What does it mean? Listen, Justin Jefferson, I believe, is locked in. I think he's going to, did he not sign already? I mean, I thought he signed, but if not, I know he's getting close. Listen, the Jets can't get him anyway. The Jets can't afford to get him. Joe Court says he's not worried about Justin Jefferson near the Jets facility. It ain't time to worry unless you worry. Jets can't get him, Alan. Yeah, I don't believe so. Jets can't live. Yeah, I'd rather kiss my dog on his lips even after he licks himself than a little baby. Just throwing it out there. Call me weird all you want, motherfucker. You're probably the weirdo fucks that's looking at these weirdo fucks. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but 28 people were caught in a child rink, and one of them being the former Major League Baseball pitcher. I don't know if you saw that, but yesterday he got cracked. Kid got cracked yesterday, and in a straight rink, 28-year-old Major League Baseball pitcher, and he got tackled. If you didn't see it, I know all you guys think baseball players can play football too, probably, right? How many guys How many of you say 30 Major League Baseball players can go play football? Motherfucker got his ass ran down and tackled. We'll see if we can find the tackle. But listen, he got tackled. And Austin Maddox was his name, and he's another one of these fucking weirdos, man. Another one of these fucking weirdos, dog. Look at these dudes, man. Bam! Welcome to the NFL, bitch. You fat wobble body bitch. I hope this motherfucker's thrown under the fucking jail. I hope he's thrown under the fucking jail. And I'm just telling you, man, these fucking weirdos are coming out more than ever before, man. And I'm telling you, man, either COVID lockdown fucked up your mentals, or I saw some disturbing shit yesterday by a lot of these weird motherfuckers, and they're all voting for Biden. I swear to God, if you haven't figured it out, listen, I can give a fuck who you vote for. But why is all the weirdo fucks out here? Dudes dressed as women, got nails, makeup, 60-year-old dudes talking about fucking Biden. Bailey, if you could find my tweet, I tweeted yesterday about this weirdo fuck. Maybe we show it real quick if you don't know what I'm talking about. But there's some weirdo fucks out here who are literally, whatever you want to call them, dog. See, y'all will say they're mentally ill. I won't. I refuse to claim that crutch. They're mentally weak. And you've allowed them to be mentally weak because they're the ones canceling you to speak your truth. And I'm going to be real. I can't fuck with it. I can't fuck with it. There's some weirdo motherfuckers, man. Hey, D. Jones, algorithms don't make me none. Shit. I'm going to do me. I give a fuck about an algorithm. I don't give a fuck about a shadow ban, an algorithm, a cancel, motherfucker. Shit. If you worried about that, you worried about the wrong shit. Look at this weirdo fuck right here.
Good afternoon. God bless y'all. I wanted to come on and do a quick speech about violence in our society, specifically America. As a presidential candidate, I want to definitely help reelect President Biden and Vice President Harris. Going forward, we're all human, regardless of party. I am a law and order president once I'm inaugurated. But like I said, we need to get back to peace, love, acceptance. We're a human race. I'm talking about America right now, all the guns, the kids, the violence, the anger, the prejudice, discrimination toward groups, sexuality, the way we look, where we come from.
Shut the fuck up, man. These sick motherfuckers, man, are the weirdest sick fucks I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna be real. I can give a fuck less what you do with yourself. But these are the same weirdo fucks, man, that are okay with fucking biological males playing against females in sport. These are the same weirdo fucks, man, who are out here pushing all these weirdo and Palestinian, all these narratives, locking down colleges when you know damn well if you go over there, you're going to get beheaded. But these are the same weirdo. And you believe that he said the human race. Guess what, dog? You're not a human, homie. You're a made-up fucking human. You are a made-up human. Look at your motherfucking self. You're a made-up fucking human. And talking about the human race? That is not a human, homie. That is a made-up human. This motherfucker really thinks that's okay. Man, I miss lesbian like a motherfucker. I miss just normal gay cats, homie. I'm gonna be real with you. I miss just normal gay folks. Normal gay folks who stayed out the way, fucking clean neighborhood. Motherfuckers stayed out the way. They were fucking good dudes, fucking good females. I miss normal, regular gay folks. What happened to them? What happened to the normal, regular gay folks? Like, I'm gonna be straight real with you. What happened to the regular gay folks? Why is it now it's the extreme of the fucking extreme made up human? It is the extreme made-up human now that is now the fad. I just miss gay folks. I want regular gay folks back. I want regular gay folks back, dog. Is that so hard to ask? Is that too hard to ask of? God damn, man. It's unbelievable. I just want regular gay folks. That's all I want. That's what I asked for. If you haven't noticed, if you didn't see last night, I want you to dive into. Cameron was asked to go on CNN. And I want to get your take.
Here, first, when you saw that video of Diddy, Cassie in that hotel, did you recognize that Shaun Combs?
What I want to say, first of all, when I seen the video, everything in the video was egregious. I'm against. I don't support all the charges that's alleged against him. I don't support any of that trafficking, minors, domestic violence. I'm totally against it. So when I seen the video, yeah, I was kind of upset with it. Being that I know him, he's not necessarily a friend, but yeah, I was upset when I seen it. But
did you recognize
everything
him?
I just said.
Did you recognize that kind of anger at all from your experiences?
I don't know like that. What do you mean? Do I be recognized? Did I recognize him? I seen him. What do you mean my experiences? I seen him and I thought it was disgusting. I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him. So yeah, it was him.
What did you think about the apology that he gave in that other video?
Ain't me for this. The apology ain't for me to decide, for Cassie. What I think about it don't matter. He ain't do nothing to me. Cassie need to ask Cassie if she accept the apology. I told you how I feel. I said what I said.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mace. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Man, it's almost going to bring me to tears to say this. I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram, man. Don't have me just out here crying and shit, man. I don't want to get emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there. But for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I'll be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
It's funny that everybody's torn in here. So half of you calling Cameron a lowlife and a ghetto trash fool. We probably know who's saying that. And then you got everyone else calling the broad probably woke and dumb and whatever. There's one thing, though, that nobody wants to address. They brought him on their show, dog. He didn't force his way onto fucking CNN. Do a better job, CNN. If you don't want real folks on your platforms, don't bring them up. It's a distraction, dog. It's all bullshit. You guys don't think it's bullshit? Cam and Mace are hot. They got a hot show out right now. They want to bring a cat on CNN to talk nonsense because they know he'll do some crazy shit. Cameron didn't force his way out there. See, people mad at me because I go on a Kansas City radio show and cuss their asses out. Guess what? You brought me on your show, motherfucker. I didn't force my way into your studio. You asked me on your show, and that motherfucker just straight up said it. Their numbers are garbage. I guarantee CNN numbers are down since they have no Trump to cover. Let's keep it real. And let's just be honest. And their numbers have been down for I don't know how long. And now all of a sudden, you guys are mad that Cameron went on there and basically was like, don't ask me about no fucking Puff Daddy. It blows my mind, man. I'll be honest. It blows my fucking mind. We worried about goddamn Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's, we covered the Johnny Depp court case like I've never seen a court case covered since OJ. We covered the Johnny Depp court case with that broad like I ain't never seen a court case covered since OJ Simpson. Did you notice how much we covered that motherfucker? But we ain't covered the 8 Americans that are hostages right now. We don't cover fucking any of this other real shit. We'll cover a fucking court case, though. Distraction, dog. We're talking about Puff Daddy right now more than any Iranian president dying, another president dying. They're talking about Trump and Putin on a hit list. A hit list got caught yesterday on some sort of hard drive, and there's world leaders on this hit list. It broke out, came out yesterday. Look at Alex Jones' show. And now Putin's head is on a swivel. Fucking Trump's head's on a swivel. Killed the Iranian president. You killed another president. I'm telling you, dog. Something's happening, dog. I'm just telling you. You better keep your head on a fucking swivel. Keep 2 eyes open around this motherfucker. I'm just keeping it real with you. But it is what it is. I'm going to do a little real talk or jaw jacking, and I want to get your take on this. Take a listen.
Off at a restaurant Sunday. Some couple asked me if I was a Republican.
A couple asked you that?
Yeah, it was at a restaurant. You had a bar and you're eating. There's a couple next to you and you're talking, you're watching a game. And she goes, are you a Republican or a Democrat? And I looked at her like, I'm a felon. And she just shit. She goes, what are you talking about? I go, listen, I don't play that shit. Okay, lady? I go, oh, you motherfuckers have gotten too political the last 10 years. Everybody's a political analyst. I go, I got hit in 66, and I always paid attention to elections and what people said. By the time I was 18, I realized, you know what? These people come along every 4 years with the same story and nothing gets done. Yeah. So I chose a different path for my life instead of focusing on that. Call me when the president who says, listen, you don't have to go to work and you're going to get your balls licked all day. That's who I'm voting for. Until that fucking time, I could care less because I still got to get up and be a thief every fucking day. I still got to get up and hustle every fucking day.
Yeah, I've been the same way for the most part of my life. I'm not Republican or Democrat. You already know my stance. I'm an independent fucking thinker. See, I don't know who asked that question. I don't think I would ever be asked that question in person. I don't think anybody's ever going to have the balls to come up and ask me that in person. That's the crazy part about it. The crazy shit I get in person is I get real shit in person that has nothing to do with any of that shit. Never had one day of a hater in person. It's crazy. But you on social media are tough. I'm telling you, shit is wild. It's real shit too. Contrary to belief. It's real shit if you didn't know that. But pound that like, subscribe, become a member, man. We got a lot going on today. We're going to dive into the AFC South later on when I break down each team and their quarterbacks. Jaguars working tirelessly to extend Trevor Lawrence, rumored to be $50 million a year. We're right back to the Tua discussion with this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, this is his breakout season. I wouldn't pay him until after this year. I wouldn't pay him until after this year. That's just my take, D. Jones. I would not pay him because of his inconsistencies through his first 3 years. I want to see this year. I want to see this year, D. Jones. because, and I agree with you kind of, you maybe don't have a choice, but that's how bad the NFL quarterback rooms are. Just throwing it out there. We're either going to pay Tua, pay Dak, pay Trevor, and settle for mediocrity, or you're going to get rid of them for a Chico stick and a string of cheese. Let's keep it real. Because look what's happened. You got rid of Justin Fields. You got rid of fucking Small Hands Pickett. You got rid of fucking State Alum. You got rid of Sam Howell. You got rid of all these guys for nothing. You just drafted them a few years ago. And now you got rid of them for nothing. You're either going to get rid of them and not pay them and increase the assets on your roster, or you're going to pay them and live to fight another day. Period. That's it. So, I don't know, dog. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. We're going to dive into it. I want to dive into this, though. This is a shitbird that I discuss on this show all the time. A shitbird. I said he's the epitome. Big Smitty swears by him. He's a top 5 this. I would never put this shitbird at any of my top anything lists. He's the top biggest bust list, the softest, missed the most playoff game bust, never won a championship list. His name is CP2. And a former referee, Bill Spooner, who's a well-respected referee in the NBA, came out and said, I'm asked all the time, who are some of the tough guys, some of the bad guys? And when I tell them that Chris Paul, in my 32 years in this league, was one of the biggest assholes I ever dealt with, they say not Rasheed Wallace or da-da-da-da-da. He said, nope, nothing like Chris Paul. And they are like, oh, he seems like such a nice guy. And I say, yeah, he's a great image cultivator. But what does JB know? See, one thing I am, and I've told you that I'm a good judge of character, and I know what fake-ass good boys are. See, fake-ass good boys are these type of cats. I've been telling you all about them for a long time. I've been telling you about the apologetic fake fucks who apologize, and then they go out and do it right again. And then they go back and do it again. And then they apologize. And y'all accept it. Y'all are fucking accepting of it. You motherfuckers really expect and accept their apologies. You expect them to issue an apology to make you feel better. You're a nobody. And yet you need an apology to feel better. From a guy making $200 million, you need him to apologize when it's fake. It's fake, homie. These are fake-ass good boys who will smile in your face and stab you in the back. Who's CP2's best friend? LeBron. LeBron's in the news yesterday. Crazy shit on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, oh my goodness. They got a full thread from his son being sick to him with Diddy. Oh my goodness, you got to go find it. It's unbelievable. It's kind of crazy. Conspiracy, we could say, but it's weird. Man, I'm telling you. I want to know what else is coming out this year, because 2024 is the year of the truth teller, apparently. Cat Williams said, I want to see. I want to see what else comes out. Who else is involved with all this crazy, wild shit that's going on? That's what I want to see. I want to find that out. CP2 is the biggest and the most overrated fucking point guard in the history of basketball. And y'all think he's really, really special. What has he done? What has this motherfucker ever done? This motherfucker is a shitbird. I've been calling it out for years. He's a bust. He's fucking overhyped. Nobody. He don't show up in big games. He never is available. He's a fucking unbelievable. CP2 is exactly what his name should be. CP3 is clearly Candace Parker. Period. Candace Parker should be CP3. Shout out to the great Candace Parker for retiring. She's gotten retirement. She deserves it. Hall of Famer, first ballot. CP2 should be Chris Paul. Period. And that's what it is. Why y'all mad about it? The truth hurts, dog. The truth hurts, some of you motherfuckers. I'm going to be real. Yesterday, Jason Williams came out, and I posted a tweet about a video that he posted. And he came out again talking about what I started yesterday's show off with, about Thibodeau and how hard he is. And if you haven't heard Jason Williams' take, you got to hear it. We'll see if we can find it. But if you got to hear it, it's exactly what I started the show off yesterday with. Jason Williams came out and said, Thibodeau is too hard, and the players died out and were too injured. This is a motherfucker that ditched his bike after he crashed it and ended his career. The irony, dog, is fucking unbelievable, and a lot of you fucks actually believe it.
Right thing to say about Tibbs this morning after that loss?
I think Tibbs is a phenomenal coach. But there has been a history that
I want to be clear. I want to. It always starts with, I think this guy is so good. I think he's phenomenal. But comes right after. You got to start watching these dudes, how they move. You got to start listening, not just hearing their lips fucking move. You got to start listening to these fucks pushing these narratives out here. They always start with, because they're so gray area and fucking left leaning, they always start with, I think that he's great. But there's always a but, homie. You got to start listening to the buts by the people you really listen to, appreciate, and look up to. Because there is no buts if you're telling the truth every day. I don't say but. Thibodeau's hard-nosed, but you can't do it no more. Stop fucking saying but.
that has followed Tibbs throughout the course of his career,
right?
In which players have been injured when you need them to be available the most. Now, I have heard from players talk about the fact that they think his style is 24/7, 365 in your face, and that's not what you need for longevity in the league. And there are things around, hey, this year, Grinny, I agree with your assessment, right? You can go either way. They had a great year. 2 seed in the East, had a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, a chance to win the NBA championship if they were healthy. But little things, Julius Randle, all right, he gets hurt. Why was he still in the game when you're up 15, 16 points with 3 minutes left to go in the game?
Because his coach is Tom Thibodeau, and that's what he does.
Yes, okay. Game 6, you're down 20 points. 3 minutes left. Why are your starters still in the game?
Same answer.
Why are you questioning a coach? You've never coached, dog. You've never been a coach before. Why are you fucking questioning what he does as a coach? This shit blows my mind, man. It really does. I'm fucking tired of these fucking soft pussies, man, who can't just appreciate a fucking coach. I'm sorry, Jason Williams, that we pushed your $500 million asses to the limit as the coach. I'm sorry that you make $100 million and you should absolutely be different. I'm sorry that I offended you because I said you're load managing being a pussy and missing games that we pay you for. By the way, do you realize that a majority of these big-time stars in the NBA average $900,000 a game? These cats make $900,000 a game. Kawhi Leonard, Devin Booker, James Harden. All these big stars, Luka, Giannis, Gobert. Gobert is the only fucking player left in the playoffs that actually makes $40 million or more a year. Everybody else is gone. Luka will be the highest paid, I'm sure, after his next contract. But right now, Gobert is the highest paid guy left. He hasn't won anything because look at the teams he's been on, homie. Look at the teams he's been on. Y'all make excuses for the hard-nosed coach, but you'll give passes to the soft pussies. It's just funny to me. You'll give passes to Mike McDaniel, who also hasn't won anything, who's a soft pussy, wearing capri pants. But you'll fucking make sure that you make it difficult on the hard-nosed coach because y'all soft. You're projecting your truth. You're projecting, Freddie Mac. You're projecting who you are. You'll defend a soft pussy over a hard-nosed cat all day long. I already know that's how you roll. That's how you get down, homie. You'll defend a pussy over a hard-nosed motherfucker all day long. You'll make all the excuses for the fucking soft pussy, but you'll fucking, oh, he's too hard. He hasn't won shit. Real recognizes real. Real also recognizes fake. And I know when a fake motherfucker like Jason Williams is going to come on the show and talk all that shit and then talk about another man and coach. And y'all on this chat all the time talk about stay out of another man's pockets. That's exactly my point. If I'm going to stay out your pockets, but guess what? You're going to earn what's in those pockets too, homeboy. You're going to fucking earn what I put in your pockets, though. That's the crazy part. You got to earn what I put in your pockets. You talking about don't check my pockets and another man's pockets. Well, guess what? You better earn what I put in that motherfucker because I'm the one that actually has put the money in your pocket. So guess what? I ain't going to check them, but I'm sure going to fucking demand a lot from your motherfucking ass. That's what's wrong with the motherfucking country. That's what's wrong with all you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers want to give, and then at the same time, you motherfuckers don't want to demand. So you want to give but not demand. That shit sounds like a straight bitch in jail bending over, homie, getting the soap. That shit sounds like to me. That shit sounds like that to me. I'm going to keep it straight fucking 100 with you. It sounds like you fucks are okay with bending over, getting the soap, and oops. That's what it sounds like. You motherfuckers don't want to demand what you pay them? What? You don't want to demand from what they get? You're out of your fucking mind, dog. That shit is crazy to me. Tyler Riddell, shout out to you, dropping $50 on us. He said, I was at 7-on-7 yesterday watching my alma mater and saw a parent go up to the high school coach and complain why his son isn't playing 7-on-7 when the high school coaches had nothing to do with it. Oh, that's these helicopter parents, bro. That's why I can't coach. That's just why I can't coach. Can't do it. So let me ask you something. Tibbs is on the hot seat, some of you say. Is the guy in Boston on the hot seat? Is the head coach in Boston on the hot seat? Yes or no? If Tibbs is on the hot seat, without Julius Randle since January 27th, without 4 other contributors on that roster in a major contributors, he's the 2 seed in the East next to only Boston. But yet Thibodeau didn't do a good job. But the guy in Boston has, because they have an average margin of victory of 11 points. They're the best team, blah, blah, blah. If Thibodeau's on the hot seat to you casual fucks, then that motherfucker better be on the hot seat in Boston. So, hey, Freddie, you make excuses for Doc Rivers too, probably, right? You make excuses too for all these soft pussies, right? That are okay and friends of the coaches and players. They want to be their homies and shit. You don't like real talk cats. You actually want to hear all sweet nothings. See, that's what Freddie wants to hear. Freddie wants to hear all things are good. It's okay. Come on, guys. Pat you on the ass. Tell you how good it is. Let me whisper sweet nothings in your ear. But when you get a motherfucker to get on your ass, Freddie don't like that shit. Freddie don't like that shit, dog. God damn. Woo, shit. Can't wait for that. Steve Kim joins us in about 30 minutes. We're going to break down the Tyson Fury fight. We got a lot to break down with that. And then I got a daily rant for your ass, and I got some Make It Make Sense. And then we're going to dive into the AFC West, AFC South, and I've done a major breakdown on every single team. It's going to be some real journalistic investigative work that I did yesterday for about 4 hours. So I hope you fucks appreciate it and pound that like and subscribe. Become a member. I will be back in about 4 minutes on the other side. Peace.
You wearing that T-shirt, JB? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I can't back down now, Jason. I can't back down now. I can't renege. This ain't spades. I can't renege and say, hey, it is what it is. I'm ready for it. By the way, it was Mahomes' first 300-yard Super Bowl, and it took overtime.
Listen, I try my. Listen, I'm not even a Chiefs fan, you know that, but at some point, you gotta just be honest and keep it real. Mahomes is amazing, man. He makes plays when he needs to make plays, but JB will find a way, no matter what happens. He will find a way to still win in his head, in his mind.
Jason, I'm sure Jason's gonna blast me on his show today and ask me these questions. So, but look at Andy Reid here. He is totally embarrassed, and he's like, it keeps me young, and he's making the fun out of it last night, interviewing him after the push.
He keeps me young. Yeah. So, the balance looked good. Yeah, not so good. He tested that hip out. Yeah, I know.
I mean, what can he say? What can he say? Like, I'm cutting him. I'm getting rid of him. Like, I don't know, man. At some point, I think that I just think that he could be exhausted, man. This is a lot now.
Well, I do think it's a lot for all of these coaches in terms of, you got to understand, no one even criticized Travis Kelce last night on the broadcast. It's crazy that a player could do that and not get criticized and not have it be a story. When they got to halftime and Nate Burleson talked all over Bill Cowher and everybody else and wouldn't even allow this topic to be addressed, I was like, what world am I living in? They're down at halftime. They showing no composure, and Travis Kelce's just push, shove, whatever, run up on one of the great coaches, and I can't even hear Bill Cowher or anybody talk about it. And it's just, that's how protected players are. That's how much the balance of power has switched. And so it's very tough on all these coaches. And look, players around the league, is why A.J. Brown tweeted about it. Players realize, like, man, we got all the power. We make more money than the coaches, and the media is afraid of us. And so we can do anything. And so if I'm a coach and I made a bunch of money and my legacy's strong, do I consider doing what Nick Saban's doing? I was like, hey, man, someone else got to deal with these headaches. I'm good.
Let me ask you a little college move before we get out of here. Chip Kelly left the head coaching job at a Power 5 and went to be the OC at Ohio State. Ryan Day, he coached their New Hampshire guys and all this stuff. I called it weeks ago. What do you think about that? Is that full evidence of I'm done? And since I couldn't get an NFL job, which we know Chip was trying to get, Seahawks was the Seahawks OC job. He couldn't get it. So is this the way of saying, listen, at least I ain't the head coach anymore. If I'm going to stay making a couple million at Ohio State, it's going to be as a coordinator because I don't want to deal with this stuff that's going on. And we've seen Harbaugh, Saban. We're seeing half at Boston College just walk up and get out of there and go to Green Bay as a coordinator. It's happening more and more and more. And I've talked to guys that say, JB, we're trying to get out of here. Did Chip Kelly just do that?
To some degree, yes, because as a coordinator, you can just worry about X's and O's. The head coach has to live in that transfer portal. The head coach has to deal. If he stays at UCLA, he's under a lot of pressure. He's probably needed to win 9-10 games to keep his job at UCLA. And now you can go make $1.5 million, $2 million at Ohio State, just drawing up plays. That being a coordinator in college might be a better job than being the head coach in college. Shaun Moore may find that out at Michigan. It's just like he was in an ideal position, drawing up plays. Harbaugh's dealing with all the headaches. The kind of money that coordinators are getting paid now, that's a great living with a lot less headaches.
A little bit of breaking news coming our way that one of the issues in Kansas City has been resolved Rashi Rice, photographer that he supposedly ran into and hit in a Dallas nightclub, has dropped all charges. So one of his issues is no longer pending. Now he just faces a $10 million civil lawsuit for the 2 people that he injured on the Dallas highway. So that is where we are with Rashi Rice update. It is what it is. What's up, mama? What are you doing, dude? Go. God damn. Cali acting weird. Must be an earthquake or something about to hit us. I wouldn't be surprised. Shit. We got all this other weather being manipulated. Let's dive into this real quick. I want to get into this whole fucking take. I got a little daily rant for you. And where's my fucking theme music? Where's my theme music like fucking your boy says?
Without a doubt, it's Compton in the house. Without a doubt, it's Compton in the house. Without a doubt, it's Compton in the house.
I got something to say. The California homeless pandemic is exactly that, a fucking pandemic. It is an absolute joke downtown where our new studio will be. And to see it hurts my soul as an Angelino, a Californian to the core, a native born and raised in the most beautiful state in the union. But to have to see what it has become makes me think how far we have fallen. We have bureaucrats running this once again great state. Once great state. Come to Florida, JB. Come to Texas, JB. Come to Arizona, JB. Listen, man, I appreciate all the invites, but pussies run and hide from the truth. Pussies run and hide from reality. They live in fantasy land. I stand and fight. I stand for something, so I don't fall for everything. And I always ask, if not me, who? Who will do it then? If I don't stand and fight, then what does that tell the next man or woman? If we all thought this way, this cowardly way, to just leave when shit gets hard and not try to stand and help fix it, then we would have no great states. And this country would become a shithole third world country, which, contrary to belief, it is slowly becoming in front of our very eyes because folks like everyone out there saying this to me is abandoning their state because times get tough and it gets rough and shit happens and your state becomes something you don't want it to be, and then you leave. It's already a third world country, people. If you haven't realized, just look at all the immigrants that are in this country fucking up shit. Middle-aged, military-aged men who are in this country already waiting for the jump off. And you motherfuckers really think you are the guys going to just say, I'm going to run. Fuck that. I'm leaving California. Wake up, folks, and stand together. Stay and fight. Fight to make your great state great again or keep it great if it already is great, if you think it's great. But don't run away. Make a fucking difference for once. I'm just that way. That's who I am. Always will be, always have been. I just can't leave. I just can't jump up and leave just for a reason, because it is. And everybody that talks about California, listen, you can talk all you want, dog, but I'm going to be honest. It's like you talking about the bad bitch you see. You know why you talk about her? Because you'll never get her. You know why you talk about California? Because you'll never be able to afford it here. You can't live here. You can't handle it here. You don't want to get drugged through the mud. That's what it is. Let's just keep it funky. The truth of the matter is you can't come here. That is why you are an absolute pussy. You run from everything, and you've probably ran for everything in your entire life. Let's just keep it real. You probably ran from the test. You probably ran from conditioning. You probably ran from the weight room. You probably ran from study hall. You probably ran from the meetings, eye-to-eye, face-to-face meetings with your boss. You probably ran from the confrontation to have a real grown man discussion from another grown man. You probably ran and rather texted them, and you rather do that. Exactly right, Cisco. That's the difference, man. I'm going to be real. I'd rather be rich. I'd rather be broke in California than rich in Wyoming. I'd rather be broke in California than rich in Kansas. I'd rather be broke in California than rich in fucking Montana. I'd rather be broke in California and rich in goddamn wherever the fuck you live. That's the bottom line. That's what you motherfuckers don't understand. Period. Point blank. It is what it is. Not my fault. It's still, in my opinion, I think, what are we? Third in the world economically? A state, by the way. A state. Third in the fucking world economically. I mean, come on, dog. Let's be real. Those other places are drive-by states, fly-through states, fly-by states, fly-over states. Fly-over states. Let's keep it real. Dog, if enough motherfuckers in California get together and band together and say, Newsom, fuck you, and our mayors, fuck you, and all this other shit, fuck you, then you all trying to move back to California. Everybody out there in a shithole state you're in will try to come here to California. D. Jones, you right about that. See, I'm not gonna face that squatter shit. See, I'm not boo-boo the fool. And I'm just telling you, oops, oh shit. Oh, intruders in my house. Guess what? There ain't gonna be no squatter in my shit. You're gonna have a problem. Yeah. But, you know, hey, dog, you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. It is what it is. Yeah, Cisco rather be in Tijuana. Callie, go lay down. Come on. Come on. Come on, Callie. Come on, mama. Come on, dude. What are you doing? Fucking weirdo. Go outside, Ash. Go with your sister. The great state of Alabama. Some of you are delusional. Some of you motherfuckers are straight delusional. Alabama is a better state than California. Oh, shit. What's wrong, Mama? Callie, what is wrong with you today? God damn it, I'm going to cut you out. Come on, let's go. God damn. Callie's weird, man. She's fucking scared of fucking certain tile, and she's weird about bar stools being in her way. Alabama. The only thing you got good right now, well, what used to be, was football. And let me tell you something, Alabama. If you aren't good in Alabama this year and those Roll Tide aren't rolling, holy shit. You got one of the fucking shithole states in the union. You got one of the worst states in all of America. If you motherfucker, let's keep it real. Shit. Yeah, she wants me to go outside. There's probably something out there. Fucking, she probably killed a lizard or a bird. She catches lizards and birds, dog, like ain't no other. I'll tell you right now. DMV, listen, let's keep it real, okay? I recruit the country. DMV was great. I love the DMV. I got a good friends there. A lot of talent in DMV area, especially DC area. But let's be real. You talking about a fucking shithole. Holy shit. You talking about a shithole area. Shit. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, though, dog. Listen, we're not going to turn this into a state-by-state debate. Okay? But let's be real. You want to live on 5 acres around no one that's because who you are. That's you, dog. Cisco and I are city folk. We grew up in a big metropolitan city, probably the biggest in the country. That is who we are. You guys are fucking farmers. It's okay. Go farm on your 5 acres, and I hope you keep China out of Montana, and I hope you're a good old heart American. Trust me, I do. But damn. Ain't nobody trying to live on no farm, 5 acres around nobody, motherfucker. That's you. Go ahead and do it. Only thing Alabama has is the Gulf Shore, and it's okay. It's actually a shithole oceanfront. But you guys think Gulf Shore is like one of the greatest things ever. That's like all the people in Galveston. Like you guys say, we got the beach. Listen, I love Houston, but come on, man. Galveston's a shithole ass beach. Galveston's the worst beach probably in America, other than Venice. See, this is the thing. A lot of you cats talking about California's a beautiful state. Your government is the problem with all that homelessness and how is California not a shithole. See, you guys keep going back to why it's a problem. I just told you that I'm going to fight and stay. You are talking about how great of a state it used to be, but now the politics have created some narrative for you. I don't give a fuck about the politics, dog. I'm telling you about the state itself. If we can fix it, we'll be back to the best state. But until then, I'm going to stay and fight. You guys are already, all of you know the best weather state is here. Keep it real. Best state is here. Number one. We're the best weather. It's not a debate, by the way. It's not a fucking debate. We have the best food. I mean, you can argue that we don't, but top to bottom, from Frisco to San Diego, we have the best food. Let's keep it funky. I would argue we have the best women. Let's keep it real. We have the most money. Let's keep it real. You got the weirdo fucks in Hollywood. Yes, we get it. D. Jones, keep it real, dog. Florida's a shithole, too. Let's keep it funky. You got gators, humidity, mosquitoes like this. You got fucking, come on, man, wombats. You walk out the shower, nuts sweaty again. You got the humidity off the chart. You got hurricanes and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Tell me one thing Florida has that we don't. I'll wait. I don't want to get out the shower and fucking nuts sweaty again, dog. Sorry. I don't want to do it. You motherfucker got hurricanes and shit. Fuck that. I ain't doing none of that shit. Florida beaches aren't elite. You got one good beach. Oh, shit. I got to make it make sense for everybody out there real quick. Let's make it make sense. I got one for you right now before Steve Kim jumps in. No state property tax, or no state tax, but your property tax is triple the price of California. See, all you dumb motherfuckers really haven't probably purchased or owned property enough to really understand economics to say out here that, well, JB, Florida don't have state tax. Texas don't have state tax. Y'all property taxes are higher than anyone else. You're going to get your money back, homie. They're going to get their money back. Just like all y'all that got a fucking COVID check. Y'all thought it wasn't taxable. Now look at you. You owe back taxes from COVID checks. You guys, dog, are unbelievable. The property tax in Florida and Texas are double what we pay here in California. And you guys think you're winning. Get the fuck out of here. Every state's fucked up. Again, my point. Every state has its downfalls. Just pick and choose where you're from and ride with it, dog. Or move out and be a fucking follower. That's just not what I am. Make it make sense. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith goes off on P. Diddy after video surfaces. But just months ago, he said Diddy would be straight. and no issues would come of it. Clowns are in the media, dog. These wait till it happens ass cats are the worst, the absolute worst. How do you make these statements prior to proof dropping, and then when the truth bomb hits, you renege like some spades cards and then make a video on your show claiming to be disgusted of Diddy? Make it make sense, Stephen A. You came out and said you're disgusted by what Diddy had to say. You came out and said now you're disgusted. But I have record 2 months ago, you said that you think Diddy will be fine. You think we need to not judge. You think we need to be on support status of P. Diddy and guys like that. Dog, you're a fucking joke. Let's just be real. You're an absolute joke. You, Ryan Clark, Perkins, all you weirdo fucks. You're all the same. You guys are all the fucking same. Let me be honest with you. You guys are the weirdest fucks. You guys are the ones. See, I take heat. You know why I take heat? Because I actually go out on a limb prior to it happening and giving you my take. And then I don't renege. I don't apologize. I don't come back. You hit some, you miss some. But I have the nuts to go out on a limb and say from the jump that this will happen or this will happen. I'll predict the record. I'll predict what the quarterback does. I'll predict blah, blah, blah. Well, Jamel Ridley, there's no proof. You can't prove it. So what are you saying? Okay. Have you been to every state? Have you lived in every state? Just because you drive through a state and you see a fat bitch at the gas station and you automatically think, trust me, dog, I can come to your state and find a lot of ugly bitches at the gas station. So stop. Come here and stay here for a year and then tell me. Stop. You guys are fucking comical, man. Stephen A won't go on a limb, dog. He'll never go on a limb. He'll actually come out after. He'll come out after and say it. He'll come out after and say it. A lot of you guys in here defend Dana White, Jamil. A lot of you guys in here defend Dana White. I'm not one of them. I've said 2 years ago, whenever it was he hit his wife in the club on tape, that everyone seemed to have forgotten about because he has money and he's a power player. And he goes to Vegas and bets and wins, and everybody, he's cool because he tells the real. And then he went on Netflix on the Tom Brady roast, and everyone thinks he's cool now. No, I don't ever forget you putting your hands on a female, homie. You're a bitch to me. You're a bitch made cat to me. I told Pat McAfee that. I told everybody that. That's me, though. I'm not going to ever, you're not going to get a pass for hitting a bitch twice. Because you know what? You hit that female twice, your wife, in a club, in an open setting. Don't act like that was the first time you put hands on a female, homie. I know a bitch when I see a bitch. Trust me. I know a bitch when I see one. And just because all you motherfuckers want to go out and defend bitches doesn't mean that I'm going to. See, that's why you guys aren't fucking, you guys can't handle the truth. And Cornhole, you act like I wouldn't tell him in his face. Cornhole, you're a bitch. Cornhole, you're the biggest bitch in this chat. Let's just keep it funky. You're the biggest bitch in this chat. And you ride Dana White's dick because you want to be in the in crowd. You are the epitome of a bitch. You would suck Dana White's dick off if you could. Cornhole. You are the epitome of a bitch made cat. That is what you do. You could arguably be the biggest bitch in the chat. I'm going to be real. I think you probably are. You probably take that. Take that. You probably been over for Diddy too, right, bitch boy? Listen, Dana White's a bitch. It is what it is. And guess what, dog? For as much security as he has, don't trip. I'm never worried. Not worried. I'm telling you, you're a bitch to your face regardless, because if I think you're a bitch, you're a bitch. Period. You hit a female, homie, you're a bitch. Period. That it's not changing. You put your hands on a female. Let me ask you all something real quick. Good conversation. Let me ask you guys something real quick. Let me ask you something. Cornhole's like talking to a fucking retarded wall, so I'm not going to talk to him. But I'm going to talk to all you in here, especially the women in the room. Let's take P. Diddy's assumptions and presumptions and allegations away. Take all that away. P. Diddy video came out of him hitting that female the other day. All right? First time we ever heard of P. Diddy doing anything. Not with Sal at UCLA, not with any of this child shit, not with any of this shit. The first thing we ever heard about P. Diddy doing bad was the fucking tape that came out and him hitting Cassie, whatever her name is. Tell me the difference between what he did and what Dana White did. I'll wait. Please, go. Drop it in the chat. Let's have a conversation. Since I'm solo dolo for 3 more minutes before Steve comes on, tell me the difference between what Dana White did by hitting his wife in a club twice, and what P. Diddy did. Was it a little more egregious? Did he throw something at her? Sure. But at the end of the day, tell me the major differences in those two men hitting a female. I'll wait. Y'all thinking right now, there ain't no fucking difference. Dana White gets a pass because of who he is and what he owns. P. Diddy was getting a pass for years and years and years. But now there's assumptions and presumptions out there about what P. Diddy is and what kind of animal he is. So he has triple fold on what he is compared to Dana White. I would bet dollars to dimes that they're probably not too far off as far as being human beings. Just telling you, dog. I've never met a man that hit a bitch or hit a woman. I'm sorry. I've never met a bitch man hit a woman and not be a straight up bitch. Telling you. I don't give a fuck if he lives in the dark and comes out in the light and you guys all hear what great things that this motherfucker does and all the things Dana does and all this old shit. Bottom line is, homie, he hit a female. He's a bitch. Let's just keep it real. He is an absolute bitch. And P. Diddy's an absolute bitch. And to me, it's like the Bible says, a sin is a sin. Well, hitting a female is hitting a female, homie. I don't give a fuck how you do it, when you did it. You're a fucking bottom feeder. You're the epitome of a shitbird. In my opinion, both of those fucks live on the same floor in hell. Period. I'm just telling you. Let's jump into my main man, Steve Kim, joining us right out the gate here on this Talk That Talk Tuesday. Steve, what up, man?
Morning. What's going on?
You're muted.
I am. Hold on. What the fuck? Am I muted?
Probably the mic or the computer. Nah. Is he muted? Is he muted on our end? Nah, it says your mic's muted.
How about now?
You hear me?
Yes. I hear you. Do you hear me?
You're unmuted, but it's still no voice.
Let me get out of the studio.
Hold on. Oh, you guys hear them? They said they hear you, but I can't hear you. What the fuck? Talk now.
Yes.
Yes, I got you.
There
All right,
we go.
my
What's
fault.
going on? Good morning.
What's up, Steve? Good morning. I appreciate you. Solo today. Smitty's still with the cartel in Mexico. Hey, let me ask you something. Is there a difference? And you might be in this space, and I'm bringing up controversy because people don't want to hear it. But if we didn't know anything about P. Diddy and we didn't have any presumptions or assumptions of what anything he's done, and his first video of us seeing him was hitting that girl over the last weekend, and then you compare that to Dana White, who hit his wife in a club twice, what is the difference? I don't see one.
Well, I mean, if you put it like that, I guess there isn't, but we know that P. Diddy, look, I knew that guy was, I don't want to say dangerous, but I thought it was very suspect when 20 some odd years ago, I think it was at a New Year's Eve party, he got into a shootout with J-Lo was in the car. And I said, if you're willing to do that with a female in your car, especially one that's a high profile celebrity, what are you willing to do in private? So, you know, like, so Dana White's become the new, what about Favre? What about him? He's guilty too. Has nothing to do with that individual. The deflection, it is what it is. I think the whole music and entertainment industry probably needs to be dismantled. It's very demonic. It's a den of decadence. I don't think anything really good's come out of it the last 20 some odd years in terms of the type of people that it has produced and the type of content that it trots out to the public. But also at the same time, and again, I'm not trying to victim shame. Many people look at this as the price of success and fame. You know,
it is. It's unfortunate. That is. It's interesting because to me, that's not the first time Dana White comfortably slapped his wife in public. He's done that at home, probably. How do we know? How do we know this guy? He's very comfortable to put his hands on a woman. I'll tell you that. And that just to me is the epitome of a bottom feeder. And I don't think there's a difference in the two. Regardless, we don't know what the two on my level are the same, except we think now and coming out. Do you think that? So Jeff came on yesterday and he does all this crime boss mob stuff with informants. He thinks P. Diddy is a CI informant. There's no question. He's sold on that shit. Is that? You think that's a real thing?
You mean a psyop? I think everyone in the hip hop industry, to a certain degree, the way they trot out certain acts, what they've done to the community, how they've degraded a certain amount of people, kind of infiltrate the mind, body, and soul to create a certain mindset. I don't think it's the craziest theory. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and people are in the chat are like, what did she do, though? It doesn't matter. She could hit me fucking 20 times in the face. I'm not hitting her. She could spit on me. Yeah, is that a bad? Yeah, of course. It's my wife. If my wife's spitting on me, we have bigger problems. And that doesn't deserve a fucking slap by me, a grown man. By the way, Dana White, I think, is pretty much good in shape. He's pretty well off in shape. He's probably pretty decently strong. He probably is active with his hands daily. I'm pretty sure he stays active. And you think that's okay? That's where we're wrong at. That's the problem we have in today's world. Let's talk some football before we talk about this Tyson Fury thing. First of all, can we get rid of this? This is the real logo I made for him. Let's get Biden out. Let's get Biden to quit.
Well, it's only for the good of our country and our economy and our everything else. You know, look, people are going to be upset by this. He's the worst president we've ever had. And I don't see how, look, we could survive anything, but I'd rather not have to endure another 4 years of that.
Nah, I don't know how we can do it. I think you'll have a civil unrest if that's the case. There's no way. There's just no way that happened. Okay, first of all, I got to ask you something. Shaun's going to join me, Shaun King. We're going to break down the AFC West and the AFC South today by team plus quarterback. I want to do a little bit with you, but I want to ask you, is Tua worth $50 million? He's turned down one contract offer already. He said he wants in the realm of $50 million. And then my second question to that is, Trevor Lawrence has also now come out and said he wants roughly the same. Are either one of these guys worth it? I guess worth it. And see, Smitty and I argue all the time. Earned it is a whole nother. We're not even going to use that word today, Steve. How about like proven? Are they proven enough to get this money? Because this quarterback landscape, Steve, in my opinion, is as bad as it's ever been. And we're seeing us get rid of guys we just drafted 2 years ago. Stidham, Small Hands Pickett, Sam Howell, Justin Fields for nothing. Chico Sticks and a string cheese. You're either going to pay these two guys or you're going to get rid of them next year and start over again. I don't know. Is that where we are with these two guys?
Well, is that the going rate for, I would say, mid-level quarterbacks? Trevor Lawrence took a couple steps backwards last year. I thought he was going to build on that playoff victory.
Wouldn't you wait a year to pay him?
I wouldn't pay him now. Let's just put it that way. I thought last year He regressed. Tua, you could scheme stuff up. He has a track team outside, very creative coach. But again, if that is the going rate for that level of quarterback, you almost are forced to pay it. But if you want to show some guts, you could actually say, you know what? Let us disperse this money elsewhere. But again, quarterbacks are going to get paid. I don't, unless teams are willing in mass to draw a line in the sand and say, we're not going past this threshold financially. I don't know what you could really do about it. Those guys are replaceable. They're not franchise quarterbacks. At least they haven't shown that yet. But it seems to me that, from the Dak Prescott contract on, every quarterback every couple of years is going to break that threshold. That's just the way the business works.
Yeah. Yesterday I started the show off by saying I broke down all these quarterbacks, and there's 11 of them I broke down. So the 11 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL right now, 2 of them have won Super Bowls, Mahomes and Russell Wilson. They have 4 Super Bowls combined. Everyone else on the list has yet to sniff one. Jalen Hurts sniffed one, and Joe Burrow sniffed one, but they lost. Jared Goff sniffed one, but he lost. And then when he lost and got booted out of there, they actually won it the very next year on that team. So who is worth it? Kyler Murray? No. I take him out immediately. I think he's holding that franchise back to this day. Until they figure that out, I don't believe they move on at all. I think they're the 4th place team in the West every year while he's there. Russell Wilson, aging, but they're paying Russell Wilson. Let me make it make sense. They're paying Russell Wilson on his past performances, let's be honest, because he won the Super Bowl and went to 2. So if we're paying certain guys on their past, why are we paying guys because of their present? Because no one's done anything. Herbert hasn't done anything in the present. Josh Allen hasn't done anything in the present. Joe Burrow, since the Super Bowl, he's been basically a non-playing entity out there making $50 million a year, costing his roster. I can go down the list. Lamar Jackson is yet to win a meaningful football game. Dak Prescott, that's what I'll say about him. And then look at all these other guys. I don't know what quarterbacks you really would pay, but that's the market. It's been set. And we're going to reset it again, Steve, with the signing of Trevor Lawrence and Tua, if that's the case.
Yeah, but again, that's the quarterback rate. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is, unless you want to run a wing T. Look, until teams collectively start drawing a hard line and quarterbacks are kind of left out there on the market. But again, quarterbacks are hard to find, even ones that are just decent to good. Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVPs. Every year he's going to win double-digit games. There's a value to that.
Do you separate the individual accolades? Because I brought that up yesterday. Do you separate the individual accolades and 2 MVPs to what he's done in the playoffs? He's a nobody.
Yeah, but then again, it matters. You're still going to play 17, 18 games. That's what you're getting paid for. He's been fairly durable for that style of play. Dak Prescott is what he is. We know his ceiling, but he's going to win you double-digit games with a good enough team. So I don't see the quarterback market ever going down unless 15 teams say, you know what, we're not going to pay. We're not going to play the game. But then you risk being really, really bad if you don't have a good quarterback. So there's a price for everything.
I just don't understand how the GMs and the head coaches are so willing, or the owners are so willing to pay guys, especially like Derek Carr and these guys that have got astronomical amounts of money that have done nothing in theory. Like really, they've done nothing. I guess it's setting up the backup, the Minshew's and now Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield got paid off of having a few starts in his career. Now going to a backup and then back to a starter. I guess guys are going to get paid.
Coach, you can run shot. You can run Wildcat then. If you don't want to pay the quarterback? Okay, run Wildcat then. That's the problem. You're complaining about something that cannot be fixed.
But back in the day,
but then run Wildcat the whole time.
But Coach, back in the day,
we're not getting quarterback salaries down. I hate to tell you this. We could talk about it 50 times. We're not getting it down.
I get that. and this is why a year and a half ago I said the NFL needs to adjust salary cap and make quarterbacks have their own. They need to have their own salary cap. I'm just going to be honest. I know it probably won't happen, but let's be honest. Back in the day, you had to earn what you got in your pocket. Now we're checking your pockets out here. We're pocket checking, as the youngsters say, but they haven't earned what I'm putting in that pocket. Like, these cats haven't earned anything. And to your point, we can make their rosters better with having second-tier quarterbacks, in my opinion. We've seen second-tier guys actually take their teams further over the last few years than the star making $50 million.
But how many second-tier quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl?
Flacco.
Great run. Okay.
Trent Dilfer.
That's Brad Johnson. But, I mean, okay, you got to have an all-time great defense.
Doug Williams.
You know, look, the quarterback going to get paid. Mama.
Hostetler. You've had a few. I wouldn't put Eli Manning in there. Eli Manning was a fucking starter. I don't know who you guys are fooling. You guys crazy. Eli Manning's a 1%er, contrary to all your beliefs. You may not think he's a full. Let me ask you a question. There's a debate out here, and there's a stat line that's comparing Ben Roethlisberger to Aaron Rodgers for the same amount of years played. Roethlisberger has, I believe, in every category, better stats. Not only does he have more Super Bowls, he has better winning percentage, more touchdowns to picks, and more, I think, 300-yard games, more 400-yard games, and he also threw a 500-yard game Aaron has yet to do. Do you look at the optics and just say, well, Aaron Rodgers is so much more fluent as a passer, he's much better? Or do you look at stats and say, Ben Roethlisberger, no one talks about him, but statistically was better than Aaron Rodgers throughout the same amount of years? Do you ever look at that like that?
You know, I've never really looked at the stats comparatively. I mean, if you were to tell me, Steve, who do you like in terms of quarterback skill, I'd go with Rodgers. But Roethlisberger had, at least in the first half of his career, that he won a lot. And he came up with a lot of clutch moments, especially that Super Bowl against Arizona. But then, you know, you got to think about the systems, who you're playing with. Did your organization play the free agent market? I know Green Bay really hasn't done that traditionally. So it's a tough one. But if you say, Steve, based on quarterback skill, who do you like? I would say Aaron Rodgers.
And the thing is, I think Aaron beat Ben in that Super Bowl head-to-head, and I think everyone automatically put him ahead of him. I think they put him ahead of him, but Ben has 2 Super Bowls. I don't know. It is what it is. I want to dive into this real quick with you because Shaun King and I are going to dive into the AFC West and the AFC South. But I want to dive into the AFC West with you real quick because the Raiders apparently have leaned towards Aiden O'Connell being the starter. In that division, obviously, you put Mahomes 1. Are you putting Herbert 2 in that division just out of default because Denver has no quarterback and we don't know what the Raiders are doing? Of course, Herbert's the most talented arguably most talented guy in that division, but he's yet to win anything. And then these 2 other guys, we don't know what the Raiders or Denver is going to bring. Is it time to shit or get off the pot for Justin Herbert? And do you think this is does he get a pass, a stay of execution because of Harbaugh being hired, and he kind of starts over? Does that make sense?
No, there's pressure on him to win now. You're into your 4th, 5th year, and that's why Herbert has failed. He has not come up big in moments in the 4th quarter in one possession games. His record is not that great, but with Harbaugh, there's an expectation you're going to be able to shore that up. Look, Harbaugh came in immediately and resurrected Alex Smith, and then Colin Kaepernick had the best run he ever had. One thing they're going to have, if Harbaugh has his vision fulfilled, they're going to be in 2nd and 3 and 2nd and 4 a lot. That immediately makes a quarterback better. And I don't think they're going to see any more games of him throwing 40, 45 times, just chucking the ball over. They're going to make less throws mean more. That's efficient football. So I don't know what the Chargers are going to think about who their number 1 receiver is. I know they have to rebuild that whole room, but they're going to be physical up front. And I look at the Chargers as still a very good roster. Herbert, for him, that the future is now. I don't want to hear about him being a young quarterback. You're either a franchise quarterback or you're not at this stage. But Harbaugh is going to be good for him because I think there's going to be more efficiency in his game.
Yeah, and back to the AFC South and Trevor Lawrence. They'll pay him because they're going to have to. He's a first pick, and they're going to pay him. But in this team, with this team, in my opinion, this is what is year 4. I believe that this is shit or get off the pot as well. Him and Herbert, in my opinion, are the same guy to date. Like, they have to figure out. They're both big armed. They're both real skilled. They're athletic, talented, big strapping dudes that are prototypical guys. But either one of them has gotten over the hump. And I think if you had to bet on one of those two this year, I'm going to go through our quarterbacks with Shaun later. Who would you rank in the South as far as the best QB going into this season? You think that it's C.J. Stroud hands down, or do you like Trevor having a bounce back year?
I like the way Stroud played based on performance last year and the help around him. And it looks like Tank Dell's going to be okay. I like Houston overall. I think they had a very strong draft last year. They seem to be moving things in the right direction. Bright young coach. I think you got to go with Stroud. And again, there could be a sophomore slump, but if he's really a great one, there is no slump. It's called doing a season. So you'd have to go with Stroud. Stroud has natural passing abilities, gets the ball off on time, throws in the pocket, and he could lace the ball in tight spaces. And he's got a lot of talent around him. So I'm going to go with Stroud. Lawrence has been disappointing. We have to be honest about that. He had one playoff run where they played pretty good, made that great comeback against the Chargers, played the Chiefs tough. But other than that, he's been pedestrian. It is what it is.
You and I have said in this palooza right here, and we've looked at him and said, God damn, that's a hell of a throw. He threw a 9-ball in the hole, and he makes these curl throws in first cover 2, and he throws dig routes on time. And we're like, damn, that's special ball, special throw by Trevor Lawrence at times. And then we sit there and look at him and say, you skip past that. You didn't. Why would you not? Why wouldn't you throw that out of bounds? Why would you throw that straight to the corner in the pick 6? Like, that's just inconsistency, or it's a lack of a it factor. I don't know which one it is, but Herbert, him, and Josh Allen, to me, all are the same guy. They fall under the same category. They are freaks of nature that do not have the it factor for whatever reason. AFC East, real quick. The Bills, I thought they digressed this offseason. I don't know if they've progressed. Do you say the same thing?
Well, they're going through changes. They got to run the ball better in the red zone. They rack up a lot of yards, and then they don't score touchdowns. They need to lean on the running game a little bit more. There's a lot of pressure on Josh Allen. You know, that team had a window where they were probably as talented as anyone in the AFC. They couldn't get over the Chiefs. The Chiefs in clutch moments were just better than they were.
Or the Bengals.
I don't know where they think they are in terms of this window with that core unit that they had. But look, Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback, and you've kind of wasted it. You know, you didn't squib kick a couple of years ago. Last year, you had the Chiefs at home in the playoffs, couldn't get over the hump. I don't know where they are. They're kind of a team in transition, but they're not necessarily in full rebuild mode. So I can't really get a read on them.
Yeah, and then I think they're regretting the fact they let Gabe Davis go when they did, thinking they probably are going to keep Diggs, and then they lose both of them, and then they don't really recoup. Yeah. They drafted a guy. You know, we'll see how good this rookie is, but if you're dependent on a rookie right out the gate as your number one guy, I mean, I guess you've seen it a few times with, the Jamar Chases of the world, the Justin Jefferson. Where you at with Justin Jefferson? They phone tagged him last night in New York. He's 3 miles away from the Jets facility. He hasn't re-signed yet with Minnesota. He did not show up for OTAs yesterday, which was league mandatory around the league for guys that are on their roster. Everybody seems to be happy and in place. New rookie QBs, all this different stuff. Justin Jefferson, their franchise wide receiver, not there. That's a tell sign, right? Like, you got to have your guys if you're ready to start. Usually you see guys that win in the league are together already and their camaraderie is beginning and they're all in. Seems like he's just doing his own thing right now. Again, a prima donna receiver, which I talk about on this show all the time. You got to have them, but they're headaches.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's mandatory. It should be there. That's kind of a black and white thing with me. if it's obvious to the Vikings that they're not going to re-sign him, they may want to put him on the block and try to get something for him. I don't know what else to really say other than that. But Minnesota's going through some changes at quarterback. He may not feel comfortable there. He's racked up huge numbers in his rookie deal. So, I don't know why he's in New York. You'd have to ask him that. But if Minnesota, I'm just telling you, if they don't think they can re-sign him, put him on the block.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Speaking of that, these young rookie quarterbacks got to sit down with the GOAT, Tom Brady, and he told them, I don't know if you saw this.
You think it's about you. It's about us. And the biggest problem I see with a lot of the young players today, you guys are making it too much about I and me because of social media, because of branding and all that. It's fine. You're not going to win. There was a difference between being a star and being a champion.
Your talent gets you there.
I don't know about Jay-Z being in there. I don't really care about him. He might be the next P. Diddy. But Tom Brady speaking about this thing, I don't believe these kids really – it goes in one ear and out the other because they see the money at 18 to 22, 23-year-old, and we probably never saw at that age. And I think they're like, okay, I know you're the GOAT, but you're old. They don't care about the forefathers anymore. Look at a guy got drafted. He got drafted, Steve, and retired – and now wants to be a TikToker. Like, this guy was a draft pick. At what point do the GMs and the head coaches and the owners say, God damn, Devontae Parker just retired at 31 years old 2 weeks after he signs with the Eagles. He took the signing bonus, though. Like, I don't
I try to get that back. Exactly. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not allowing that. I try to get my refund. Look, Devontae Parker put in 9 years, so that's a career. The thing is, when I hear these people say, well, players have to tweet, and because I've gotten into arguments on Spaces about how other programs like Alabama and the ones that really care about football and win a lot with Miami fans, well, the kids are just tweeting and everyone does it. Like, no, they don't. The teams that are actually serious about it, their coaches say, turn off your damn phone and you're not tweeting for the next 5 months, and they do it. I don't want to hear that you have to tweet. No, you don't have to do anything except breathe and drink some water.
You got PR teams. You should have PR teams. Like, I don't understand. In Kansas City, though, switching gears, Rashi Rice apparently probably paid him off. Who knows? But he hit a guy that's on camera in a Dallas nightclub, a photographer. He's come out and dropped charges this morning. So that's one less issue that the Kansas City Chiefs have to worry about in their receiving core. Listen, we've knocked the receivers the last 2 or 3 years, but the guys went out and won 2 Super Bowls with the lack thereof receivers. Is this just another one of those years? Are they good enough to repeat again, three-peat with the receiving core that they have, or do they still have to go out and get somebody in free agency or not free agency?
They've upgraded though. They've added some speed to that room. I'm wondering if Rashi is even worth the headache at this point. They added one of the faster players in the draft. I believe they got Hollywood Brown. Look, they have a shot because they got number 15 and they got Reed, and Kelsey still has a little gas in the tank. I think the Chiefs are still going to be very good. I do wonder the standing of Rashi Rice because, look, it's not like he's been Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill might bring headaches. He also brings you a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards. I'm not so sure Rashi Rice is at that level or ever will be. So I'm wondering if he's even on the bubble, but, I guess he must have wrote a check and all of a sudden the criminal charges or the whatever suits are there are gone. So it is what it is. I hope he doesn't go out there and kill somebody. And I'm only halfway kidding about that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Last few minutes before you get out of here, appreciate you jumping on. Tyson Fury fought, and I didn't even know it was on. So apparently it was on in the middle of the day on a Saturday, and I was moving around. I saw the punches he took, the save. What's the controversy? I saw Mario, yourself, talking about him getting saved by the ropes, or what is this whole thing? I saw Henry talking about you guys don't know what you're talking about. Not you, but talking to the fans out there that don't know what the ropes actually entail. Can you break it down on what?
Yeah, well, if the ropes hold you up after a punch, in other words, if you would have gone down specifically, if the ropes were not there, it's a knockdown. Now, a lot of fighters lean on the ropes because they know where they are. And they're smart about it. Now, I look at that sequence in round 9 with about 30 seconds to go. even though Tyson Fury hit the ropes a few times, I only thought there was really one time before the knockdown was called where I would have said that specifically was a situation where I would have said, that's it. That's an 8 count. Now, there's no standing 8. I'm sick of people here saying that. Folks, there hasn't been a standing 8 count in boxing for about 25 years. There is no standing 8 count, okay? But could you have made an argument that the fight should have been stopped at a certain point? I think there is an argument. But in all fairness, I think Mark Nelson handled that correctly given the circumstances of that fight, what was at stake. And the last knockdown came right near the end of the round. So I don't think Mark Nelson saved him in that sense because Tyson Fury got up and there was no time left. So if you want to say it was saved by the bell, you can. But I thought Usyk won that fight clearly. I know a lot of people are trying to rationalize their scorecards and saying it was close, or no, the right guy won. From that point on, I thought he swept the last few rounds, and Usyk proved to be, I thought, actually the better boxer, just as tough. He was also the better puncher. He comes out and does a very good job of turning over his knuckles, which is one thing the Fury does not do. He does slap and he does kind of flick out his jab a lot. But if you look at the way Fury punches through the knuckles, has really good tension throughout his forearms, he locks out his elbows and shoulders, that right there, look, he hurt a man that was significantly bigger than him. So the fight was the fight. I thought they got it right. I thought Usyk won that fight.
Shaun, welcome in. I appreciate you coming in. You thought Usyk won that fight too?
Yeah, I did. I thought the scorecards were actually pretty accurate. I thought what we saw was Usyk, I thought, won the first and second round, and I thought Fury had some success, third through maybe 6-ish. The one thing that I agree with Steve that kind of surprised me with Fury, he didn't sit down on any of his punches, which is interesting for a bigger guy because I would have thought he would have wanted to see if he really sat down on a punch, could he hurt Usyk? Because I felt like the body shots were having an impact in the middle rounds. I thought he had Usyk kind of dazed and buzzed at one time, but I don't know. I thought Fury, maybe Fury got old around round 7 or 8 because I thought he kind of got fatigued, Steve, and like what he was doing, the movement, avoiding the punches, counter punching, it slowed down, and then he got caught. And when he
Shaun, here's the thing. I didn't like that weight loss from Fury. I think he should have just settled in at what he's been fighting in at. At a certain point or a certain age, when you start cutting weight, even as a heavyweight, if you lose too much, I think there's an impact. But, Shaun, before round 9, if you go to round 8, because you're right, Shaun, I thought from rounds 3 or 4 all the way to 7, it was a Fury fight. We can't have revisionist history. Going into that 8th round, we thought even though the fight may have been close on the cards, all the momentum seemed to suggest this is going to be a Tyson Fury fight. But in the 8th round, Fury got hit with a good left, and then a sweeping right hook near the end of the round that drew blood. And then as he sat down, you saw that his right eye was a little bit swollen, had a bit of a mouse. That, to me, was really when the fight changed. It wasn't just round 9. Round 9's obvious. And when you see that particular sequence of events from rounds 8 to 9, Usyk, again, showed he's a cleaner, harder puncher, and he took back physical and tactical control of that bout. And I'm with you, Shaun. I thought the first couple rounds went to Usyk. The middle rounds were controlled by Fury. And then the last third or fourth of that fight, Usyk, I thought, sealed the deal.
Let me ask you, is there a rematch clause? Did this happen? Is it going to happen?
Yes. Well, there's a rematch clause, and they're talking about October. But with Tyson Fury, you never know, because keep this in mind. This fight was supposed to be December 23rd. Then it was supposed to be mid-February, and it ended up being this Saturday. So take that for what you will.
Kind of the only thing that stinks for Usyk is he's kind of been an unknown fighter to the American public. And when he finally gets his big fight, at least as far as America is concerned, he doesn't really have any major competition. He's already beaten Anthony Joshua twice. Fury, to me, is going to retire. Fury looked old the last third of that fight. He got tired. He got fatigued. He couldn't get out of the way of the punches he was avoiding. He don't really have Jared Anderson, probably is still a little away. That's the only thing that kind of stinks for Usyk. He's kind of going to be a heavyweight champ in anonymity.
Well, I mean, look, that fight was viewed by a lot of people, and he's making tens of millions. I think he'll be okay. He's a little bit different guy. Usyk,
How old's Fury?
Fury's 35, but his body's probably going on 45. He's not been a Spartan lifestyle.
But JB and Steve, here's what's crazy. Usyk's 37.
He's 37, but he leaves
older.
No, but I think his body is aged differently, though. He's a much more disciplined guy. There's been much less abuse physically, and also in terms of his personal habits. You know, and you bring up Jared Anderson, Shaun, when you're 24 and you say, well, I want to be out of here by 27. You know what? Go now. Go now. I like Jared, but if you're already talking retirement and every fight is this pity party, I don't want to box. Good. Go to LinkedIn, put in your resume, work at Kinko's, brother. Boxing will go on just fine. I'm so sick and tired of today's fighters bitching and moaning. Look, do your job or not.
Is it fighters? Steve, is it fighters or pro athletes? Devontae Parker retired at 31 today.
But he put in 9 years. And look, for him to say, I want to spend time with my 4 kids, I can handle that. I think that's actually very noble.
But is it 4 kids from 4 baby mamas? Is it Tyreek Hill or not?
They still need fathers. I mean, as Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs once said, be a father to a child.
Let me be clear here. I've kind of not soured, but I've plateaued on Jared Anderson myself. I simply brought his name up because he was the potential big fight about a year and a half ago. He was viewed as the next guy. And so now that he's kind of plateaued, I'm saying Usyk doesn't really have like a legit dance partner as we sit here right now.
No, but, look, Usyk's been undisputed at cruiserweight and heavyweight, and he makes an argument for being the best fighter in the world pound for pound. To me, it's 3 guys: Inoue, Crawford, him. Everyone else, you're not even the same class. But Usyk, I think, is already at the tail end. He's a different type of guy. He's one of these Eastern Europeans. He's from Ukraine. Their mindset is different. They don't look at social media or fame and fortune as this narcotic. They're here to make a living. They're very focused. They're very disciplined. And they have a different mindset than American athletes. The thing that gets me about Jared Anderson is that I thought he's the best pure American heavyweight prospect from the amateurs since Riddick Bowe. I thought he had that much ability. But every time he does an interview, it's like, I don't have to box. I don't want to. Then don't. We're good. There's nothing to say, well, Jared Anderson is retired. I'm not going to say, well, we need to shut down boxing. No, just go. Jared, get a job. We're good. It overcame Jack Dempsey. It overcame the retirement of Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, Mike. And guess what? It might survive not having you, Jared. We're good.
And I kind of get disappointed in it because the energy in the interviews has kind of spilled over into the fights.
Yes. Like that last fight was awful, Shaun.
Yeah, he's become kind of boring, kind of monotonous. So, hey, Jared, man, you got it in you, man. Come on, we need you, baby.
Does he?
I'll ask you this, and while we're on boxing, Anthony Joshua is the only one that looks like he's still getting gradually better. Like, guy that started boxing really late, doesn't have the pedigree and background of the Usyks and stuff. Any part of you feel like if Anthony continues to continue, he'd have a shot in a fight 3 versus Usyk?
Look, he's gotten better because recently he fought a lot more. As I like to say, activity matters. They finally took my advice. The old Kimster kind of knows what he's talking about here. Anthony Joshua, in my view, his performance in the rematch with Usyk is actually underrated. If you go back to that fight, Shaun, in round 9, Joshua was starting to get to Usyk. He was chipping away at the body. And I remember as the bell rang for that round to end, I said, it's 5-4 Usyk. And the bigger guy is starting to get to that body. But once again, Usyk showed his clutch gene, the character and the integrity he had, because he came up with the big 10th. But I remember after watching that fight, even though Joshua lost, I said, you know what? You showed a lot here. You showed a lot, and he's begun to actually retool himself. And I said something on the 3 knockdown rule that me and Mario disagreed with. If Joshua fought Fury in 4 to 6 months, I think right now Joshua would be the favorite over Fury. I never thought I'd say that a year ago, but I say it now, Shaun.
I think if Fury fought Joshua instead of Usyk, I think this version of Joshua in May of 24 is better than the version of Fury in May of 24. Let's be honest with Fury.
I don't disagree.
Fury got nothing to be disappointed about, JB. Man, Fury has overachieved at an unbelievable level. There's no way you can look at Tyson Fury and say he would have been unified heavyweight champion. People would have been having conversations about him being like an all-time top 20 heavyweight.
Oh, but Shaun, didn't you hear that though? That's the thing.
He got nothing to be ashamed about whatsoever.
This ESPN propaganda and these British homers that were literally saying that Tyson Fury is not only among the all-time great heavyweights, but maybe the greatest ever. And I said, folks, you take away Deontay Wilder, who's very flawed himself. He's had one of the weakest heavyweight runs.
He did beat Klitschko, though.
Okay, at the very tail end. But he also took 2.5 years off right after that.
Right.
And Chris Algieri on a show that he does with Pro Box, I like Chris. Chris says, well, that's a guy that could have competed in any era. Oh, really? So if you would have said to Fury, you have to fight 4 to 5 to 6 times a year like the way the old guys did, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
In Chris's defense, though, I think he was talking about the focused, I'm willing to die in the ring Tyson Fury that fought Deontay Wilder in fight 1 has a shot because of the size dimensions against everybody. I don't think he was saying that he'd be favored, but
that's a good to win a jump ball. He just got beat by a guy he called a rabbit. And the rabbit got the gun. I didn't call him a rabbit. I would never do that. Tyson Fury called him a middleweight.
Hey, JB,
I didn't call him a middleweight.
So Steve knows boxing, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but like outside of football, boxing is like the second sport I'm most passionate about. Tyson came in really big about a decade ago and fought an undersized guy named Steve Cunningham.
Got knocked down.
It was life and death. And you could see that he thought the answer against an undersized guy was to lose all the weight and go back to boxing, which is what he tried to do against Usyk. And I think it worked, Steve, but I think he ran out of gas. I think the weight loss and the age caught up with him in that fight.
Shaun, in that fight, the way he turned the tide after he got dumped on his ass by Cunningham with that overhand right was to lean on him.
Mm-hmm.
He became the bigger guy and he mauled him. Okay, it was not an aesthetically pleasing fight. I remember it was on NBC on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Because later that night I was in Texas. I went to the Canelo Alvarez Austin Trout fight. Okay, here's the problem, and you saw this fight. Anytime Tyson clinched on the inside and tried to grapple him, here's the issue. If you look at the way they are built, Alexander Usyk, unlike Tyson Fury, did not skip leg days. And the shorter guy had the inside upper leverage, and every time they clinched, he got right underneath them and he rooted him out. I thought Tyson Fury was better off coming in heavier if he's gonna do that.
Hey, JB, we're not gonna let Steve get away with that. Tyson didn't skip leg day. Those little X and Y chromosomes swam around leg island. Like he just ain't blessed with legs.
Well, then hit the squat rack.
Squats all day.
Hit the squat rack. I mean, but here's the other thing, though. All I'm saying is this. If you look at Tyson Fury's resume, Sefer Safari, Francisco Pianetta, a bunch of British guys at the tail end, Tom, may the Schwartz be with you, Otto Wallin, who may have actually cut him up and should have been a stoppage. Nothing there claims to me, well, that's an all-time great.
But who's saying he's an all-time great?
Oh, a lot of people did. About 7 days ago, they were saying it. I didn't. Of course, look, once in a while I get them wrong. This one, I told you, Usyk's going to win this fight.
You did.
Hey, is he better than Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So, okay. So, I don't know how he's great. I don't know.
And by the way, anybody out there claiming that they called a fight right, come on. It was a split decision. 2 scorecards had at 1 point. Like, come on. You know what? The fight ended up being exactly what Vegas thought it was going to be, which is a coin flip.
Did you really give him a 1 point fight? I think there's an argument.
It wasn't like it was this big favorite. Tyson was what, -118?
Yeah, it was basically a pick'em fight.
Right. And it ended up being that on the scorecards.
Right. But I thought it was close but pretty clear. That's just my view. But anyway.
Hey, Steve, appreciate you jumping on.
I'll talk to you guys later, Shaun. Good talking to you.
All right, Steve. Hey, Shaun, we're going to take a 45-second ad read commercial, and I'm going to test out my DV Sport, make sure, because I'm in the lounge. I got to transfer it real quick. So 45 seconds. We'll be right back.
Going on? We are back, y'all, and we got some good news, man. We got a new brand partner for the month of May. Shout out to Rebet. Rebet is a first of its kind social sports book. You can use Rebet coins for a free and fun betting experience while building up your status. Rebet has a sweepstakes model where you can redeem real rewards with your Rebet cash. They even have an easy-to-read lines that will help you bet like a pro. Over 60 major sports leagues, 3,000 diverse betting markets, and you can share your bets with your friends. Welcome to sports betting made social. Go download the Rebet app right now, today, and start betting like a pro.
All right, we're back. Let's see if I can share this real quick. I don't know how to do this.
You like me. I'm terrible when it comes to computers.
Yeah, I don't know how to fucking do this. Let me see. I don't get it. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Do you see that?
Now I do. Yep. Chargers, Dolphins.
Oh, so Bailey, can we see? Everybody can see that?
It's got like the.
Yeah, everybody can see it. Switch to a play.
All right, shit. I'm talking to Enoch right now on text. That's why. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. All right, so now I know how to do it. I'm going to share the screen, and we got NFL film.
Yes, we do.
All right, perfect. All right, let's dive into this. I'm going to take that off real quick. I want to ask you something. I want to break down this NFL. I want to go AFC West today. I'm going to try to steal you a couple days this week, but if I can only get to Friday, then we'll do Friday. But if not, I want to go through the AFC and the NFC this week as far as the team, the roster, and the QBs, and rank them out. So AFC West is where we'll start. And I did a full-on breakdown on each team. I spent about 4 hours yesterday writing up my own investigative journalist take on this. So the AFC West starts in Denver. In my opinion, they're the 4th seed. We're going to rank them from bottom to top. I got them as the 4th seed. And Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, and Jarrett Stidham. That's your room, John. That's your room, Shaun. Where in what you have done for me lately, league, what I call it a what have you done for me lately league, the Broncos don't have a lot of ammunition to answer that question, in my opinion. Bo Nix is a rookie, having never taken an NFL snap. Zach Wilson is now the mile-high MILF hunter. He's a failed number 2 overall pick, and so far at least, searching for a career resurrection. And Jarrett Stidham has been a backup at best since entering the league. I got to put that roster and that quarterback room as the 4th ranked team and QB combination in the AFC West. You agree or disagree?
I agree simply because they traded Jerry Jeudy. So they traded probably.
And Sutton's a no-show in camp. Sutton's a no-show.
Sutton wants to get paid. He can look at that quarterback room and know he's not going to have the kind of year statistically to have leverage. So he knows his leverage is right now. They did draft Troy Franklin from Oregon, who I like. But let me say this about that quarterback room. And I know a lot of people watch this platform. And if you work for an NFL organization, here's a problem with that quarterback room. Everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. Jerry Stidham feels like he should have gotten an opportunity to be a full-time starter by now. If I'm not mistaken, I think he started in New England backing up Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken. Then at some point, he ended up with the Las Vegas Raiders with McDaniels. So he probably assumed that he would transition to be the starter there. They switched coaches mid-season. He probably felt like he played well enough. I think he had 2 starts. They didn't re-sign him. Now he's in Denver. You trade away Russell Wilson. He's sitting there with his wife, girlfriend, family, whoever. Oh, finally. Then you go get Zach Wilson, a kid who feels like everything in New York was set up for him to fail. No offensive line, young team. Like, he just feels like that wasn't him. He's got a new start. Then you go draft Bo Nix, a guy that feels like he was better than all the quarterbacks drafted in front of him. So, I mean, to me, in that room, I don't see a lot of people throwing in the same direction. I see 3 guys that are doing whatever it takes to try and be the starter there. I don't know if that's the most healthy situation all the time, especially if none of them are really a veteran. So it'll be interesting how Sean Payton manages it, especially with a system that he runs, where there is a lot of at the line of scrimmage, things that have to happen as far as pass protections and getting out of one play into a pass, or out of this pass play into a different run. Like, it's a lot of scrimmage stuff that Drew Brees did, which made that system successful. So that's going to be fascinating for me to watch. Not just who becomes the quarterback, but how does the quarterback room enhance each other and make the room right?
I'm a Sean Payton believer, but at the same time, we got a guy who's a rookie who you are on record on this show saying, I can't wait for them to draft Bo Nix in Denver and hit him in the face. And I agree. I'm feeling the same way because I like Russell Wilson. I'm a Russell Wilson guy. I think he's very, very undervalued in this league, in a league that's become so watered down at the quarterback position. Russell Wilson, to me, is a top echelon guy still, and he proved it last year on a bad roster or a bad situation. Let me say that, with a new first-year head coach. So you draft a rookie, and then you got 2 journeymen to date. You got 2 journeymen. It seems like what you said, that room is going all over the place. There's no film on those guys that we really want to show. And
JB, who's the emotional sponge? Like, listen, for anybody out there that thinks it's easy to play quarterback in the National Football League, just from an emotional standpoint, you're dead wrong. Forget the physical part of it. Forget the football IQ. The kind of guy you got to turn into emotionally to be able to handle the ebb and flow, the up and down, the success and failure. Man, look, you got to be a hell of a dude just to handle that part. And a lot of that absorbed energy comes from your backup. The one person who, when you absolutely have screwed up, you come to the sideline blaming everybody else in the stadium but yourself. He's that guy that can go sit there next to you, let you vent, and then get you back refocused. The thing with that kind of room is, Zach, if he tells the truth, is hoping Bo Nix fails. And Bo Nix is going to be hoping that Jared Stidham ain't ready to. It's not like anybody in that room is going to be like, you know what, I'm only here to emotionally stay between the quarterback, the coordinator, the head coach. Because Sean Payton gets emotionally hijacked on the sideline. I remember he went to popping off on Russ and them last year. So, I mean, that's the part that's going to be interesting for me because, hey, listen, it's going to be times in the game where your emotions get out of whack. They get hijacked. And being able to have somebody that can kind of smooth over that transition is big, and it's important. And if you look at a lot of successful teams, they have that.
And it's like Tennessee when they drafted
Will Levis.
The other brother from
Malik
Liberty.
Willis.
When they drafted him, and then they asked what's his name?
Tannehill was there at the time.
They asked Tannehill, and he was like, "I'm not here to get him better." Shit, that's you and I's mindset. We're like, "Hey, dog, nah, this is my job. I'm the starter. It don't matter if you're in junior college, high school, junior Pop Warner, D2. The starter is you want to be the starter, and it's period. I'm not here to help you. I'll be cordial with you and cool." But I want to be the starter. And Tannehill, to me, took all that heat by all these fucking soft Karens because he said, nah, this is my job. And everyone gave him heat. But anyway, I want to move on to number 3 on the list. And that's the Raiders. I've heard coming out of that camp, I don't know what you've heard, that Aiden is getting the nod. And that's what I've said on this show. I think Aiden should be the guy because of the young arm talent that he possesses. I know you're not high on him. He's basically a rookie, but he did get some bullets thrown at him last year. He's got to shoot the gun a little bit last year. I think you go with the bigger arms talent guy, the bigger bodied guy that can get into 12 personnel, isolate Devontae Adams, run the football, play defense, what AP did with Tom Coughlin in New York to win a Super Bowl. He knows what it is. I go with the younger guy. And then either way, Shaun, you and I both agree that probably, unless Aiden O'Connell becomes the next Brock Purdy and he gets the Raiders going, you're probably drafting a QB next year in Vegas, correct?
Well, let me first say this. I think because of Gardner Minshew's past, you're probably better off starting O'Connell. I mean, unless Gardner just is so vastly better in practice, and I can't see that scenario because when you look at Aiden O'Connell at Purdue, they had some big wins, and he played big time against some.
My boy coached him and said he could throw any ball anyone in the league can.
Absolutely. So I'm not down on Aiden as much as I just wish Aiden had more mobility. I think the Raiders need a guy that can kind of create on his own at points. But I do
He's
think
going to be Tom Brady back there, right? He's going to be Tom Brady in that
motherfucker. Right, very similar. But I do understand Aiden being ahead. And Gardner's been the backup. Gardner backed up Hurts, came in when he needed to, played well. He backed up Richardson, came in, played well when you needed him. So that's kind of been how he's made a living. And he's made a hell of a living. Hell, he don't touch 40, 50 million now. So I'm not knocking it. But as an organization, I think that's your sweet spot. Because now you can back Aiden. And, you know, if something happens, injury, stretch where he doesn't play well, you have a guy that's proven that he can stay ready and be ready when he's asked.
No doubt.
I'm fascinated. To me, the Raiders' success and failure, because they're going to be solid on defense. That's what AP is. He's going to have a mentality there. The interesting thing for me is, without Josh Jacobs, can they develop a physical, consistent running game? And the reason I say that, obviously, they're going to be in a lot of ace formation stuff. I mean, you spent a second-round pick last year, a first-round pick this year on tight ends. They're going to play. So that means that you're going to kind of be in a formation or personnel group where you got some opportunities to run the ball. You're going to keep most defenses in base, I would imagine, instead of playing in nickel or dime. So to me, that can Getsy create and design and call on game day a run game that's effective week in and week out so that their play action stuff to Devontae Adams and Jacoby, that stuff works.
I think this is Aiden a little bit last year, or was he 4?
Yep, that's him.
All right, so this Aiden O'Connell, we got him on a little bit of film on him from the end zone here. Like Shaun said, just get him, just so we can clarify the QB position and understand what Shaun's saying. Look at his hip bend, his knee bend, and his athleticism. He don't have it. He's not a guy to get out from under center. When you get the ball in the center, Shaun, and we're taking the snap, and you get out of there, whether it's a run or a pass, you can tell if a guy is fleet-footed, light in the ass, and athletic. He's not, right? He's heavy-footed. He's like my ass was. So what they do this year with the new OC is going to be very interesting. But to your point, he's not running boot naked and getting on the edge by himself. Look at him. Very lackadaisical in his mechanics. I don't think he was very well coached at all last year. Obviously, they had a different head coach at this time. But I just think the coaching the quarterback in the NFL has become so bad.
Here's what's interesting, because, and maybe this was just because of Fields and Fields not being comfortable coming from under center. I mean, the Bears in a lot of ways were probably 70, 75% shotgun with Fields last year, and Getsy was the OC there in Chicago. But Green Bay, Rodgers is much more of a under center guy. You know, he likes the stretch run game because he likes the play action off of it. So I think we'll get a chance to see what Getsy is. A guy like O'Connell, and it's kind of one of the things that it doesn't worry me, but when you say your guy says he can make all the throws, like you can tell to push the ball down the field, he's really got to get full torque on the ball. He's not like a guy that's just able to arm flick it and get it where it needs to go. And that's not a problem, but when the guy's immobile, you know, you just got to do a really good job from interior pass protection.
I agree with you on that, and I'm going to have my man on the show. He's OC at Louisville right now. He was at Purdue last year with them before they got the Louisville job, and you know him. And I agree with you on that throw right there. That is not extreme elite. That's not Aaron Rodgers flicking that bitch out there. This is a good ball, though. It's outside, face mask through the numbers. This is a catchable ball. I'd rather have it more towards that pylon right there. I wish I could, I'd rather have it a little bit towards that pylon. But at the end of the day, that's a 65-yard ball. And that's what the Davis family wants to do. That's why I think they start him this year, Shaun. And they say, let's stretch the field with Devontae Adams. Let's get these younger cats. They still got, what's his name from the Bourne? Bourne? They still got Bourne. And I feel that Minshew is a comfortable backup. That's his role. He wants to be able to chew sunflower seeds on the sideline, come in if he's needed, and that's what I think his role is. I think you roll with the rookie here, and hopefully you've gotten better up front. You got Jacoby Myers, you got Bourne, you got Devontae Adams. Now you got 2 legitimate tight ends, and you got a bruising running back. You play defense with a pretty damn good D line. I would put their D line in the top 5 in the NFL now with the addition of the 3 technique they just got.
They had Christian Wilkins, right?
Yeah, and then they got the pass rushing extraordinaires out there. I just think that this is the guy you go with and let him learn on the run and play safe. Like, you might have to ball control the thing and play pass and get under center and then be in the gun, run a little RPO. I just think you need to isolate Devontae Adams more, use the tight ends to dictate the coverage, get the tight ends involved, and get the safeties down in the box to defend those tight ends and get one-on-one matchups. You got Meyer, you got you just got Bowers. We'll see.
I'll tell you this. If the Raiders organization exhibits patience, and by patience, I mean understanding that AP didn't take over a playoff-ready team. He had this team overachieving down the stretch last year, which is why he got the job. They obviously were underachieving, which is why McDaniels got fired. So if you have that understanding, and then you realize that, okay, in a quarterback-heavy draft, we were just good enough to be outside of being able to draft the top guys. Now, show AP some grace. Don't have O'Connell out there and AP out there like, we got to go to the playoffs this year, or you're fired and you're benched. So, I mean, if they show some grace, then I think they'll be fine.
Let me ask you something. I got Bailey in here. Bailey has some first-hand.
Bailey looked just like Jeff.
Man,
hey, he got some first-hand knowledge. Shaun, he got some first-hand knowledge on the center they drafted, which
I like Jackson Powers from Oregon. I mean,
I
I
think he's a hell of a player, man. I think he reminds me of Kelsey similarly, where Kelsey we saw he was very successful in pulling out in open space. At 300 pounds, it ain't easy to locate a linebacker or a DB. Quicker feet, obviously. I saw that a lot with this film. I think he's very good pulling as well. Inside run, I think he'll be solid for them. And ultimately, if O'Connell's going to have success, they need, like you said, interior offensive line help. So I think Powers Johnson's a great get for him.
But can he block?
So he's really a really good gap scheme run game center.
Down on the shade, wrap the guard. That's what he is. He's not a zone guy.
He's really athletic. I don't know if he's like super strong at the point of contact, but he is physical. Like when he gets downfield in the run game, he will, put some licks on linebackers and DBs. He plays hard, has really good feet. He's an upgrade over what they had, so hell, I'm not mad at it.
My worry is, can he pass protect the quicker, smaller shade or head up nose, especially if you get into a tilted position by a nose guard who's a veteran guy, and you got to go against the Chiefs and deal with that monster when they want to put him inside on the center. I'd put Chris Jones on the center the whole goddamn game if I'm Kansas City. And
I will say this though, JB, that's probably a good thing being in that division. First of all, he gets to go against Christian Wilkins every day in practice, so it's not like he's going to be shocked from a talent standpoint. And then that division don't really have great interior D linemen outside of Chris Jones.
And it's all about how you structure practice, in my opinion. Because what is your scout card showing leading up to particular games? Let's just say Kansas City, that's the last team that beat Kansas City, by the way, was AP and the Raiders, who actually dominated the Chiefs that last game of the season before they went on their Super Bowl run. But let me ask you, how you design scout cards is critical, because if this rookie center is really the center for Aiden O'Connell and that Raiders offense, let's be honest, the Raiders are a 40 front. They're not covering up the center in their defense. So when they go good versus good in practice, the center is uncovered. So I got to draw up cards to make sure that I prepare this youngster with a body over his ass on scout cards. Hey, dog, this is Chris Jones this week. Hey, dog, this is the possibility of Mac coming in from the Chargers and moving his ass inside to show you what, Aaron Donald used to be, the quick, short, quick burst 3 technique moving into the shade position, which we see Chris Jones being moved around in Kansas City. I'd move Chris Jones all over the field up front if I was a defense coordinator for the Chiefs like they do. Spagnuolo does. So you got to draw up the cards with the rookie center a lot different than you do with a veteran like Jason Kelce. So Jason Kelce can be uncovered in practice all day long, and then in the game comes, he's got fucking Wilcox over him and a head-up zero and has to block him. That's not an issue to him. It will be for a rookie. So it comes down to coaching and the rookie center. The center is critical, how you draw up scout cards. Bailey, I appreciate
Hey, JB, if you look at the organizationally what they did, though, they bypassed what we thought was their biggest weakness, which is the secondary. So obviously, AP feels good about some of those secondary guys that we may not know about, some of the young guys coming up, you know, through the through the channel. And what they did, they solidified a major weakness, which was the interior group on offense. They went tight end at 1, center at 2, and tackle at 3, Delmar Glaze from Maryland. So they added 3 new bodies to put in the combinations, you know, to help the run game and to help the pass protection. So now it's just about, you know, as you mentioned, them making sure they're prepared for all the different looks. But from a talent standpoint, they're better than they were last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me ask.
And I think with O'Connell, you have to be, because he's not going to get out of the pocket as much and make things happen, you know, with his athleticism and his legs.
Let's dive into. So here's the Raiders. I want to give you my synopsis on them. Even though the Raiders didn't come away with a quarterback in this draft, they still got a better quarterback room than the Broncos for now. Knicks could end up developing into a starter, but for now, Las Vegas still sits ahead of Denver, in my opinion. That's why I have them ranked ahead of Denver. Gardner Minshew has won in this league. He kept the Colts competitive. Aiden O'Connell is heading into year 2 with some positives to hang on to. While neither one screams franchise quarterback, the Raiders still have a better shot at winning games right now than the quarterbacks in Denver do. So I'm rolling with Aiden O'Connell to start and give them the young arm talent to stretch the field, which the Davis family has loved in the past. That's why they drafted certain questionable receivers in the past that you and I could dive into at any time that have been bust. Remember Hayward Bay? They've recruited Darius. Yeah, they drafted fast guys their entire careers there and that ended up being bust because they love stretching the field. They like the long ball. Moving on to the Chargers, Justin Herbert. I got him at 2, obviously, because he has not won a meaningful football game yet in his young career. We go from 2 teams with unanswered questions at the quarterback position in Denver and Vegas to a pair of teams to wrap this division up in the opposite situation. The Chargers have their franchise QB in Justin Herbert, but now it's all about rebuilding around him with Harbaugh taking the helm. No longer does Herbert have Keenan Allen or Mike Williams or Austin Eckler, 3 huge pieces to his success. Now with Harbaugh at the helm, Herbert is heading into a new era offensively. At least the Chargers know what they have in him. In 4 seasons, Herbert has thrown for over 4,000 yards on 3 occasions, including a 5,000-yard campaign in 21. Where are you at with him? And let's dive into showing some film on him. Let me see what is going on here. Hold on, Bailey. Let me see why it's not working. Let me see. What the hell's going on here? All right. Do I got you?
Yeah.
You got me? We got it now?
I'm here. I'm ready to go.
There we go. All right. My bad. All right, here we go. Justin Herbert, the offense they ran last year, it'll be quite different with Harbaugh, obviously. I would expect more 21, more 12, more 11. I don't know if you agree to that or not. I doubt you're going to be in as much 10 as you once saw him do with Allen and Williams. There'll be more 11, 12, and 21, and then they'll use multiple personnel groups to get from 21 to 12, 12 to 21, et cetera, et cetera. Give me his strengths and weaknesses of Herbert and explain. And are you with me so far on this roster ranking and the QBs?
Well, let me say, let me say this. The LA Chargers have drafted offensive linemen in the first round the last 3 years. 2022, Zion Johnson, guard from Boston College. 23, Rashawn Slater, left tackle from Northwestern. Actually made the Pro Bowl, I think, as a rookie. Then he got hurt last year. And this year, Joe Alt. So that starting five on the offensive line has 3 first-round draft picks, which, in my opinion, is tailor-made for a Jim Harbaugh type of mindset mentality. I like Justin Herbert. I have not fell in love with him yet. I still think there's some major big game, prime time, him making the play question marks that I have.
Flaws,
but
yeah.
The talent is there. I still haven't seen him put it together when it matters the most. I think at times he can be very inaccurate throwing the football. He misses a lot of layups. But when he's on, there's not probably a more talented player from a size, talent combination. Like, he's athletic, he's tall, he's got a big arm, like all of that stuff. Has he put it on? And you look at statistically, yeah, he's done it in the regular season. He's thrown for 4,000 yards multiple times. I'm talking about against the best opponents in primetime games. I've seen Herbert, in my opinion, make some unforced errors.
I think they've wasted his defense too. They've had defensive talent that rivals anybody in football, and they've underachieved with the head coach they had, who was supposedly a defensive guru with the Rams, and then he comes to the Chargers as the head coach. And again, proving my point that a lot of DCs are not head coaches in the league. They don't have a lot of success. Belichick and Parcells, and you really go down the list. Tomlin now. But other than that, mostly it's offensive guys that have success in this league as play callers and head coaches. Staley ruined that defense, in my opinion, which I think hurt Herbert. Do you have any correlation? Do you think there's any correlation with actually having a defense that would have helped him and he would have been maybe better?
I'm not really a Coach Staley fan just because I think he's found ways to lose game by trying to be the smartest guy in the room during the course of a game. But I will give him this out. They never really were healthy together. Like Bosa, Mack, Derwin James, the cornerback they brought in from the Patriots, who's not there. Can't think his name right on top of my head. Like, that group never ever was healthy all at the same time. Somebody was always out. Having said that, the reason I was talking about the offensive line and the quarterback, which I'm high on both, is I think Harbaugh has his work cut out for him after that. Gus Edwards right now is probably the starting running back. I mean, he's not in anybody's Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame. J.K. Dobbins, talented, but always finds a way, unfortunately for him, to get injured. So it's not like that room is loaded, in my opinion. Then when Quentin Johnson is your number one wide receiver going into it, that's the first-round pick from TCU. I mean, those are some major question marks. I do like the tight end group of Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst, but I don't think from a talent standpoint the Chargers are upper echelon from the skill positions offensively.
Yeah, and this is nitpicky here, and he makes a great throw, and we know all the throws he can make and all this stuff. But eventually, when you become elite, I would like him to step up right there and let that center push him by and him step up into the clean pocket right here. If that ball's not wide open, if that receiver doesn't have separation, that he's making that throw regardless because of the guy bearing down on him. He could step up right here, Shaun, and actually create more time with his feet, which I would like to see. Now, I mean, we're nitpicky here, but obviously he knows he was open. But if he wasn't open, which we actually see a lot of guys do in the league, he'll have to escape now, or that ball is a thrown out of bounds ball with no receiver there. So if that receiver is not wide open, you know, I like to see him extend plays a little more with his athleticism because he is athletic. And I just don't know if he does that enough. I think Harbaugh will coach the QB better this year than he's been coached. He took Kaepernick to a Super Bowl. He'll take Herbert to one, in my opinion. So that is just the talent. If I had just a question in between these guys before we get to Mahomes and Kansas City, before we get to the AFC South, Herbert, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, who you taking right now to build a franchise? If you're the GM and you got the option of those three right now, roughly the same age, human age-wise, not career-wise, but age-wise, they're really close in age, all three of them.
No brainer. No brainer. It's not even close. Josh Allen. Josh Allen has not been to a Super Bowl because of one person, Patrick Mahomes.
And it's not like Burrow's beat him twice.
Right. Burrow, but Josh played good in those Kansas City games. I mean,
he played good in the Cincinnati games. He didn't play great in the Cincinnati games.
I can't tell you a playoff game that Herbert played great in yet. I still can't believe he let Trevor Lawrence.
First half of Jacksonville up 28. That's it.
Right. I still can't believe they let them come back and win.
I still think Brian Daboll ends up back in Buffalo as the head coach eventually.
Maybe. Trevor Lawrence, again, another guy with all the attributes, all the skill sets, much better athlete than people give him credit for. There are just times where he sprays the football, which is surprising to me. He's inaccurate throwing the ball. So we'll see. But I would take Josh Allen over the other two without even having to think about it.
And as we continue to rank the AFC West roster and quarterback, obviously we're back to the Super Bowl, two-time defending Super Bowl champs, headed to a three-peat in many people's eyes. Patrick Mahomes is obviously the number one ranked quarterback in this division, coming off back-to-back Super Bowl titles. And knowing what we know about him to this point, it would be difficult not to put Patrick Mahomes at the top of any current quarterback rankings, according to everyone out there, the naysayers, especially the Chiefs Queendom fan base, who wants a kicker canceled, by the way. It's a pretty well-known fanboy conclusion to call him the best quarterback in the NFL, and he has been for a few years now. We will dive into my best in the league later this week, but the Chiefs, Mahomes, Andy Reid factor, of course, they're the favorite in the West. Do you see more friction and static from the Chargers or the Raiders this year for them?
Raiders. I mean, I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan. I think eventually he'll get the Chargers right. I don't know if they're ready now. I think they got some major talent question marks, offense and defense. But AP's already proven that he can get his group hyped up to play Mahomes. What do they call it? The Mahomes rules? Just hit him, right? Like, he understands no matter who the quarterback is, if you can make him uncomfortable. And listen, all of us get uncomfortable. The more people you can put around his feet, the more times you can push him as you run by, the more legit hits you can get on him. I mean, it matters. It adds up. And AP's proven with the Raiders he can do that. Now, what makes Mahomes great? He's the most mentally tough of all those guys. Like, he's the one guy, no matter how the game's going, good or bad, he keeps his guys believing that we can still win.
The effect.
And his ability to forget the previous play is maybe the best I've ever seen. Like, because there are times when Mahomes does some boneheaded stuff. Like, he'll have that ball down there by his knee, bad pocket presence, and it'll get knocked out, and they'll pick it up and run it back. And you know what? He'll come back the next drive and dice you up. There are times where he's doing that, running around, and he'll throw a ball he got no business throwing. And instead of Kelsey jumping over three people and catching it, it'll get tipped and intercepted, and Mahomes will come back the next drive and stand in the pocket and make throw after throw.
Like this ball right here is probably not thrown by many quarterbacks in the league. Just the nuts of the throw and the
difference between him and Herbert here. When Herbert hooked left because he has so many bad habits, he automatically floated left, which was why he couldn't step up. Mahomes is much more balanced and nuanced from the pocket, and he's able to read from sideline. Look, he's all over on the right sideline. He comes back in the same position, has the ball in the ready position to throw, sees it, accurate, on-time delivery. Herbert still got to get there. You can tell that Staley and that staff allowed him to get away with some bad habits in practice. And when you do that at that position, they show themselves in the game.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because I was at early Mahomes games. I would be in the press box there in Kansas City, and when I was out there in Indy, and it's funny, Phillip Rivers, quiet as kept, used to own the Chiefs in Arrowhead. And I was there twice where Phillip Rivers beat Mahomes and the Chiefs early on in his career. And that's just what you don't have yet from Herbert. Like, that Charger team wasn't as talented as Herbert's Charger team, in my opinion, but Phillip Rivers was the it factor, the veteran presence that you're discussing that we don't have with Herbert. And until Herbert figures that out, I kind of agree with you. Right now, the Raiders are probably the scariest thing that Mahomes wants to see because AP don't give a shit. Now, Harbaugh's going to be the same. But we also come down to, I believe, a more ready team right now.
Yeah, Harbaugh doesn't have Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins.
And Harbaugh's rebuilding right now,
Right.
let's be honest. I think Harbaugh has a 3-year plan for success. I don't believe he cares about this year.
And as talented as Baby Bosa is, he always ends up injured. He hasn't been able to figure out how to stay healthy. If you go back, rewind that one time. Like here's where Mahomes is different than most of the guys that extend plays. Watch his landmark, watch him crossfield read, and he pretty much stays on his landmark, meaning he's still, for the most part, in the A gaps. And when he decides to leave the pocket, it's by choice, not by bad habit. So that's why you don't see the Chiefs giving up a lot of sacks. They know exactly where Pat's going to be. They know how to protect and have guys run on top of him, run by him. He understands where the gaps are going to be based on the defense. If you see how he's able to step up, that's only because he consistently stays right there in position A. When you showed that one on Herbert's floating all over the pocket. It's hard for the left tackle to protect. It's hard for the right tackle to protect when they don't know where you're at. Like, look how nuanced Patrick is. He's on the A-line the whole time. As he steps up, he still never really gets outside of the A-gaps. Like, he is unbelievable in being able to do that and keep his head downfield. Very few guys can do that.
Yeah, I agree. Let me pause that. Let's dive into AFC South. And then whenever I get you this rest of the week, we'll talk about AFC North. Maybe we get through them today. I don't know. I have them in anyway in case. AFC South. In 23, the AFC South was supposed to be a formality. The Jacksonville Jaguars were going to roll to a division title, likely to be wrapped up by Thanksgiving. And at 8-3 last year, Shaun, it appeared to be the case. Jacksonville was sitting at the top, 8-3. A lot of people were saying this is the year they beat KC, blah, blah, blah. Then the Jaguars won just one of their final 6 games and missed the playoffs. And the Houston Texans stunned the NFL to win the division title behind rookie QB C.J. Stroud. The Colts finished 9-8, losing on the final weekend of the season to the Texans with a chance to win the division. This season, Shaun, Houston is universally considered division favorite, while the Colts and Jacksonville are right on the heels as the Tennessee Titans questions abound based on an active offseason and the unknown for second-year quarterback Will Levis. I got obviously, I want to break this down, and we'll start from 4-1. I got Tennessee, obviously, as the 4th seed in that division, especially with the QB position. Will Levis, talented guy. You got the kid out of Liberty and Willis backing him up, which is another unknown. Is this the year Will Levis breaks out? We don't know. I don't believe he's had enough bullets fired at him hot live yet. But the Tennessee Titans key additions, I want to go through them real quick with you so you can give everybody a breakdown on what you expect. Key additions, they got Calvin Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed, 2 big gets. They got a center in Lloyd Cushenberry, and they got an O-tackle in J.C. Latham, I think you like. They got Tony Pollard at running back, and then they got the QB, Awuzie. I like the Tennessee Titans off-season additions. Subtractions, Shaun. Subtractions. The Nico Autry, Derrick Henry, Christian Fulton, and then Al Shahir, the linebacker. The Titans added quality talent. They also did it in an outrageous price. I don't know if that's going to affect them down the line to build a asset-based team like you talk about a lot. Ridley is a good receiver who had 1,000 yards last year. The problem to me, Ridley was signed to a 4-year, $92 million deal, including $47 million in guaranteed money. I don't know if he's worth that money. Ridley is also 29 already and has only produced at star level one time other than his betting year. So then there's the Sneed trade. Sneed played at an all-pro level for the Chiefs. Despite not earning the accolades, Sneed was given a 4-year, $76 million deal with a $55 million guarantee. It's a lot of money on a corner and a receiver. And then the draft, Rand Carthon did well taking Latham in the first round, but Sweat in the second round was a significant reach, in my opinion. All told, the Titans got better in the immediate, but at what price, in my opinion? So I got, and if I want to rank quarterbacks, not rosters. Tennessee would be my 4th-ranked roster in the South, Shaun. But quarterbacks, I would put AR5 at 4 because he did not play. And I'm not a believer yet. In his talent, I am. But he didn't play, and he's injury prone. And then in your first few games, I see that, Shaun. I got a red flag. I'm going to put AR5 as the 4th best quarterback in this division only because he did not play and he got injured. I would put Will Levis at 3rd by default. At least he played. I'm not a believer either, but at least he played. And this year, Shaun, I'm going to put C.J. Stroud at number 2 because of the unknown variables at receiver and the possibilities of a sophomore slump with books being out on him, meaning defensive coordinators have a book out on C.J. now. And we know in this league, sophomore slumps occur rapidly in this grown man league. And I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence having a bounce-back year and a must-have bounce-back year as the number 1 quarterback in that division. Because what I say about CJ, Shaun, and we may disagree on this, I love CJ. I think he's the most talented QB in that division. But I'm going to put him at 2 this year because Tank Dell's recovering from not only an injury, but now a bullet wound. He's looking full speed out there, though. I talked to Tank. He looks great. But we got an addition, possibly by subtraction, with Diggs. How does he affect that room, that locker room, and that wide receiver room when it comes to C.J. Stroud, who's still a young guy, and having to manage those egos at that position, as you know, is critical and success. So where are you at with my QB rankings before we move on to ranking the 3rd roster in my division?
I think you're wrong. I would put CJ on top of Trevor. Just because I had CJ so highly regarded coming out of Ohio State. And I did have Trevor. I thought Trevor was deserving number 1 pick as well. But at the NFL level, I've seen Trevor be inconsistent. I'm throwing out his rookie year. That year with Urban Meyer, you can't even count that on the kid's resume. I mean, that wasn't his fault. But even with Doug Peterson, who I really respect from an offensive mindset standpoint, Trevor's still extremely inconsistent at times. And that worries me a little bit. It hadn't been like this gradual, okay, he gets better every quarter. Like he's better the second quarter than he was the first quarter. And I'm talking about the seasons. I still saw some things last year that I saw in year 1 when Urban was there. And that kind of worries me a little bit about Trevor. Can he overcome it? Absolutely. But I would put CJ, because CJ has not shown me any different, I would put CJ at the top of that. And I'll say this about their receiving group. Don't forget, Nico Collins played himself into probably one of the top 10, 15 wide receivers in football. So having Stephon Diggs as a number 2 is a big deal. Having like a specialist guy in Tank Dell as a 3, I mean, that's probably one of the better 3s in football. And then you got a veteran, Robert Woods. You got John Mechie now, who's a couple of years removed away from, his medical deal. So, I mean, he's going to be healthy. So, I mean, you trade for running back from Cincinnati. They traded for
Nixon.
Nixon from so I mean, Mixon. They got better. Yeah, they got better. I mean, I'm going with CJ as the number 1 guy there. I'll give Trevor number 2. I give Will and AR-15 incompletes. I think Will is talented. I don't think you can play the quarterback position at the emotional pitch that he does and consistently be successful. So I think until he gets, out of that bodybuilder, middle linebacker type mentality, he's always going to be up and down as far as locating the football. But the raw talent is there. I'll say this about Tennessee. This is as good as they've ever been, like from a talent standpoint. They got Treylon Burks, who was their first-round pick a couple years ago. Hopefully he's starting to get better. As you mentioned, they added Calvin Ridley. They kept DeAndre Hopkins. They got Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears at running back. So, I mean, they've got more talent than they've had in the past. Any defense that has Jeffrey Simmons and Jerry Sneed, is going to be pretty darn good. So, we'll see, can they put it together. So that's my ranking. CJ's 1, Trevor's 2, and I can give an incomplete to AR-15 and Will Levis.
Yeah, break Trevor down for a hot minute before we move on to the other 2 teams. Where are you at mechanically with him right now, year 3 or 4, entering 4? And I take away the Urban Meyer year as well. Then the next year, underneath the Super Bowl winning coach and Doug Peterson, he has a breakout year. I thought that was the Trevor we drafted at 1. Where are you at with this?
When you watch Trevor, the first thing comes to mind is streaky. He has stretches of 2 games where, he looks like the best quarterback in the NFL. And then he has stretches of games where he's like that. He's overthrowing the out routes. He's overthrowing the deep balls. He's throwing the ball into triple coverage. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly, is it coaching? Is it him? Because they had good personnel. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. They've got the running back there from Clemson, Etienne. They've got good players around him, so it's definitely not a personnel thing. And so it's kind of like Herbert-like in a way.
He winds up for me too much.
He's a big winder. The problem is that Clemson, he threw the ball the same way, and he was extremely successful. And I know Clemson had better players than most of the competition, but again, a guy of his talent, when a guy's running wide open up the seam, you have a clean pocket. To me, that's a 10 out of 10 throw. And I've seen him skip him in the dirt. I've seen him airmail him. I've seen him throw the ball. Guys running wide open on a post. He throws the ball 10 yards past him. It's just some little stuff that makes me pause before I anoint Trevor Lawrence. And so, to those
this big time right here. This is big time. I don't know about the spacing of the route combination. It looks shitty to me, and we don't know who he's throwing to, but it looks like he's throwing to that guy.
Right. Did he miss the underneath guy, or did he throw a seed to the out route?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know because we don't know what was going on last year, but they do have some talent there. I like their O-line. I think it was injured a little bit late. Their tackles. But at big time, the ball pops off his arm. We see the wrist, the ball's there. He's got the arm talent. He's got athleticism. He can do everything.
He's just like Herbert. He's just like Herbert. And if you're listening, if you're commenting, I don't dislike Lawrence or Herbert. What I'm saying is they still haven't put it all together, in my opinion. But the talent's there. And I'd rather have one of those guys than a guy that I know the ceiling in the house is pretty low.
No doubt. So you agree the Titans would still be 4, even though they have upgraded their roster. You'd put the Colts ahead of the Titans. And do you have well, let's get to it.
To me, the Titans and Colts are kind of the same team. I just think the Titans are a little more talented offensively than Indianapolis is. I still think Indy doesn't have enough explosive weapons at the pass catch. I love Michael Pittman Jr. He's a really solid player. He's not like Tyreek Hill, a Justin Jefferson guy, but he's a really good player. But I think if he was their number 2, they'd be really, cooking with gas. But
so let me dive. So you would have in your pecking order. You would have
Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and Titans. To me, the same thing.
All right, so let's dive into the Colts. I gave them an offseason grade of a B, Shaun. I think they got additions. They got Joe Flacco, veteran presence, and then they got edge rusher Nadu, who you're not high on, I don't believe. I am because of what he came through, and I think he's in for the long haul after the injury, or he wouldn't be doing it. Polly's different in that regard, in my opinion. Key subtractions, Zach Moss I thought was a big loss. Gardner Minshew will be proven later or not as if a backup is needed with AR5 or something going down. The Colts had plenty of money at their disposal for free agency, Shaun, and largely used it to keep their own talent, which is a good thing or a bad thing. It depends in this league. They re-signed Zaire Franklin, Michael Pittman Jr., and then they re-signed the slot corner Kenny Moore II, making sure more roster holes weren't created, in my opinion. In the draft, Chris Ballard addressed the pass rush in the first round. And Nadu before upgrading the offense with the Adonai Mitchell kid in the second round. And then the big question to me is whether the Colts did enough to fix the secondary. They brought back Moore, who was instrumental last year, but Indianapolis failed to trade for L'Jarius Sneed, I thought was big. And then leaving it with a significant hole on the perimeter. Safety is also concerned as much as it being asked of third-year man Nick Cross. If the secondary holds up and Mitchell becomes an immediate contributor in the slot alongside Pittman and Josh Downs, the Colts could compete for a playoff spot in a loaded AFC. You agree with that assessment or not?
let me say I like the head coach. I wasn't sure he was the right hire initially, but I do like the head coach. I thought he did a really good job in year one of getting the guys to believe. I thought the coach overachieved. I thought they outperformed, outproduced their talent. Having said that, can you catch lightning in a bottle like that 2 years in a row? I mean, the reason I wasn't as high on Latu as some people is because I watched the Oregon State game when he went up against a first-round tackle in Fuaga, who the Saints drafted, and he was dominated. He dominated the kid. You know, that's why I wasn't mad when the Falcons, you know, went pennies, because I wasn't sure Latu, you know, or the kid from Alabama are necessarily like difference makers. You know, I think they're good players, but we'll see.
And the only fight I have against that is this is the thing. They're family. Let's be real. They're all family, but those two know each other well. They've played against each other all growing up. It's when you know someone like they do and they go against each other quite often without pads on, and then you throw the pads on and they've gone against each other several times. It's a little different. I think that I don't know if that's going to be a daily occurrence in the NFL. I think Latu has some upside that a lot of cats are going to have to see him new every week. They're going to have to know he has a different speed, a different get off. He has a Max Crosby get off. So our hands going to be put on him right away as a rookie? Maybe. But, you know, I think there's a little bit of that to say just in defense of him. But, you know, again, the injury is always huge. And then does he perform as a rookie? And was it the right take at that position for them? Moving on, let's dive into the Texans, obviously. And then we'll do the Jags. I gave them an offseason grade of a B+. I tried to stay away from A's, but they had a damn close as you can get to an A offseason, in my opinion. They got key additions, in my opinion. They got the edge guy, Daniel Hunter. They got Stephon Diggs, of course. You got O-tackle Blake Fisher. They got Joe Mixon, you mentioned. Azeez Al-Shahir. And then they got Danico Autry, another big interior get on D. Key subtractions, they lost Blake Cashman, they lost Malik Collins, and then they lost the edge guy, Jonathan Grenard, and then they lost Sheldon Rankins. Now, did they fill those holes to a T? It's to be known. We'll find out. My overall analysis on the Texans, they add plenty of firepower while also bringing back in important pieces in the offense. Dalton Schultz was a big re-sign, in my opinion, to help be the safety blanket for CJ. Signed him a 3-year deal, and then GM Nick Caserio added Mixon via trade before a very curious extension, in my opinion. Additionally, Houston took Fisher in the second round, likely signaling Titus Howard making a permanent move to guard. Of course, the big move was Diggs, Shaun. The acquisition was wise, but the decision to void the last 3 years of his deal, making him an unrestricted free agent after this year, was very bizarre. Probably, I want to get your take on that, but Houston gave up a second-round pick for Diggs and can't lose him after 17 games, in my opinion, or it's just a bad business move. You agree to that or no?
No, I think it was absolutely astute. And the reason I think you don't love giving up second-round picks, especially when you don't have a first-round pick because of the trade the year before to go to number 3 and get Will Anderson. So that's why they didn't have a first-round pick in this past draft. But let me say this. The one thing that restructuring Diggs' contract does is it gives him personal motivation. And I think D'Amico has built a great culture there. I think from their first meeting this OTAs, they understand that their expectations now are AFC Championship game. Like it's not winning the division, it's not making the playoffs. Of course, they want to do both of those, but it's bigger than that. Like if they win the division and lose in the first round of the playoffs or their first playoff game, you know what, their year is going to be considered a failure. And I think D'Amico will set those expectations, and having a guy like Diggs, who's been to the AFC Championship game, who's done everything like team-oriented except win a Super Bowl, having him have like a personal reason to be locked in, to be a great teammate, I think is a big deal because he knows he's got to change his narrative if he wants a huge bag.
Let me ask you, though, going into this thing with a sophomore quarterback, and you got basically a young crew around you in Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz is the veteran on that team, and Mixon on offense. is Diggs the one no-brainer, or is Nico the one and Tank Dell's the fill-in guy, and then you allow Diggs to be that guy that moves around and puts him in awkward positions against defensive personnel that you can create a mismatch with? I think they have a very, very interesting season on offense and how they actually use him. And then you got Mitchie still, who's now recovering, and it looks like hopefully he's back full go. They got a very daunting lineup.
I think that's one of those good problems, though, JB.
It is.
I mean, when you think of the Bengals, who's their number one? Jamar Chase? I can make a legit argument T. Higgins is just as good.
Me too.
Tyler Boyd was one of the better threes in football. I think Tyler is now with
yeah, he went to – where'd he go?
I think he's in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's in Tennessee. But that's a good problem to have. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. Hey, the more the merrier. I mean, and I think what D'Amico saw last year was you can never have enough wide receivers because wide receiver was a strength for them until Tank Dell got hurt. And Mechie wasn't really completely, fully ready to contribute. Now people start doubling Nico in those big games, crucial situations, and you don't really have a secondary option. So I think they looked at the fact that they had traded their number one pick and they went out, they were aggressive in free agency, adding Danielle Hunter to that line with Will Anderson. I mean, with D'Amico, who's a defensive guy, I mean, they're going to be salty on defense. You know, I like adding Joe Mixon, you know, because his ability to catch the ball on third down as well. I like the Texans, man. I'm buying Texan stock. I think I don't have no issues about C.J. Stroud because he's naturally one of the most accurate guys I've ever seen. So to me, it's hard for a guy that throws the ball with that kind of consistent ball location to ever really have extended droughts.
Yeah. Poll question today was, do the Celtics have to win it all this year?
100%.
100%. I don't know. Without Porzingis, they can beat the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are going to the finals. I think you're seeing a star being built right in front of us in Anthony. But do you think that because yesterday, dog, Jaylen Rose, all these guys, Jason Williams, are going crazy on Thibodeau for being too hard and grinding his team to the ground. I'm like, dog, we're in the softest goddamn era. Donovan Mitchell just missed 2 goddamn games, and nobody's talking that about him, but you rather pick on the coach and Bickerstaff. I'm not, the same situation here to me. The Celtics, is that coach going to be fired then if they don't win? Because they've been to, I know he's only been there 3, going into year 3 or whatever, but you've been to 4 out of the last 6 Eastern Conference Finals, and you have nothing to show for it. One final you lose to the Golden State Warriors. When are you going to win something? Denver's out. Denver's out, dog. There's no excuses now, but we're giving everybody else excuses. I think the Celtics got to win it, but I don't know if they can beat Minnesota with that strapping perimeter defense and those 2 bigs in the middle. You don't have enough. Horford's not enough to go against those 2 alone.
I'll say this before we get to Boston. Don't put the cart before the horse for Minnesota. Dallas is the one matchup that can match their size because they have Gafford and Lively, who both play.
They're more athletic, though.
Right. And they've got Luka. They've got Kyrie. Like, so they've got, you know, legitimate in-the-game options. Like, I always thought that I know Jamal Murray has hit some big shots at the end, but when you look at Denver, they really don't have, like, a true, like, number one wing to go to at the end of the game. Well, Dallas has 2, especially when Luka's hitting his threes, and they got the size on the interior to match up with Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. They've got the athleticism on the wings with P.J. Washington and Jones and those guys to throw bodies, athletic bodies at Anthony Edwards. So I don't know if I'm just going to put Minnesota in the title in the series yet. I will say for Boston, this is the easiest pathway in the history of NBA basketball to get to a finals. I mean, Miami without Jimmy Butler. Then you get Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell for most of the series.
New York without anybody.
Well, they get Indiana.
I know, but I'm just saying, New York. I think New York would have been in it if they were healthy. I just don't.
Yeah.
But
I mean, nobody's afraid of Indiana. I mean,
that's the thing.
If Nembhard and Naismith and them guys aren't hitting them YOLO threes, like, man, come on, man.
The only thing is, I think Miles goes off because without Porzingis, I don't think they have an answer for Miles. Because
he don't really play like a big man. He's effective He does the same thing Horford does.
But he's a stats sheet though with your boy from Toronto, because those two right there is a mismatch in my opinion. Siakam is a mismatch in my opinion. Without Porzingis, you got to run Horford off of two bigs now. And who's your next big man over there? The white boy they're gonna have to bring in Castman or whatever name. I don't know, man. They got a problem with Siakam and Miles.
Hey, let's say this. This is the most least anticipated
I know.
NBA Eastern Conference Finals in years.
It's the worst playoffs I've ever seen. It's the worst. How do you have a 30-point Game 7 in the Garden as the home team? You lose by 21 or whatever, and you give up 130 points.
The defending champs followed it up by getting woodshedded themselves in Denver.
Yeah, man. It's fuck, man. NBA's tough, man. I don't know.
But you know what? You know what it exposes in this new NBA? Because everybody's so three-point reliant. If you go through those stretches where your threes are not falling, it happens every game to everybody because guys bypass layups to kick the ball out for threes.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the big man going out to the perimeter has changed the game, in my opinion. And I don't agree with Smitty. I don't think
NBA is a tough watch right now. I ain't gonna lie, man. This is one of the tough playoffs to watch.
It is a tough watch. Well, look, tomorrow's AFC East, AFC North. If you can, if not, we'll do it Thursday or Friday. Whenever days you get free, let me know.
I'll see you later, my brother.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Shaun King, everybody, he'll be back tomorrow to break down the AFC East and the AFC North. Hey, man, I thought I did a hell of a job breaking that down. I'm a fucking analytical guru with the realest show on planet Earth. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member. We will be back tomorrow for Work Boot Wednesday. Strap up your hard hat and your work boots. Smitty will be back tomorrow. Matt McChesney will join us tomorrow. Shaun King will join us. We'll break down the AFC East and the AFC North, and we'll rank our QBs. And then we will be back. I got to head to the studio. I got to take some soundproofing up there and hang the big TV. Get ready for that. And we'll see you tomorrow, God willing, in 21 hours from now. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the ass a rap.